All right, so folks should be coming into their queues. We greet everyone once again with the greetings of peace. Salaam Alaykum to all.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're hoping that is everyone is feeling comfortable. I want you to take an initial look at your camera and make sure that you are actually in the picture that you are transmitting across the lines. Make sure that your face, your entire head, at least, is in the picture. Now, we'll be going over some of these talking points with you to make sure that our webinars get more and more or become more and more refined.
Gotcha.
Okay? Yeah. We want to reach the point in about a month or less when we are in the mind that we are presenting to people around the planet, and that we're also presenting to leaders of language around the planet, because it's just a matter of time before we are. So you want to look the part, as practically everyone I'm looking at right now is looking the part. This is a great thing. The only thing some of you may need is a little more lighting. But again, I was going to speak to you on that also. She's got a special surprise for those who still need help in knowing exactly what to do when preparing for the webinar, and how to look, and also how to express yourself if you're having any audio problems or microphone problems or any of that. Nawa will cover all of that information when she presents to you. All right. But again, just look at your camera and make sure that you are make sure that you are the majority of picture in the frame, not your background, not your door, not your window, not your mama cooking breakfast in the background. Make sure that you are the man. If I had to draw a picture of you, I should be able to do it from what I'm seeing right here. All right. So she's going to speak to you about that. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to our lead instructor, William Safir, and he's going to brilliantly take you into the I don't want to call this a matrix, because we're not fooling anybody. We're not tricking anybody. I'm going to let William take you in. Nawa's going to make her presentation, and then we're going to hand it over to our brother, who is actually live in the studio, the brand new studio, NuNetics Institute. He's here with us. That would be Wali Sabir. And then I'll take it over from there and give today's presentation, and we will be what you call out of here. All right. So let William come in now and introduce himself. Thank you.
Yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We want to greet everyone, and we always welcome each other with that very appropriate greeting of Salamu Alaykum. And
Walaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And of course, we those that may not be as comfortable with the greeting, because the Quran is not just for Muslims. It's for all people, and even addresses those who believe in the source creator, and that they're accountable to that one. So we want to get that clear. So just a general greeting is appropriate as well. And so we welcome you, and we always make some steps to get in the right frame of mind, right frame of heart. We ask each one that's part of our listening audience, part of our class today, to think of at least 10 things that you're grateful for. If you have the opportunity to actually write it down, do that. If not, just make a mental note, things that you are grateful for. You can just think about your human body. You can start with that. You have an infinite almost amount of things to be grateful for, just in terms of your physical body, not to mention the rest of what makes you human, but that alone. And there's one thing about NuNetics that I have certainly raised my thinking in terms of being able to appreciate just being alive, especially during this day and time when so many people have so many things coming at them that have made some people in some parts of the world, especially here in the United States, to almost be ready to give up on life. But what NuNetics has done, I know certainly for me and my family, is that it's giving us some tools that we can actually see ourselves being able to reach that pinnacle of what our forefathers dreamed of, prayed for. Some of them even suffered and died for, and that's to have the freedom to fully express themselves as true humans, as complete human beings. So NuNetics gives us the tools to do that. NuNetics gives us the tools to be able to utilize the thing that makes people people, makes words make people. To Imam W.D. Muhammad, 1975 or so, when he first came in office, he let us know that. And that's one of the most powerful statements that ever came out of a human mouth, that words make people. And Imam Muhammad had a few students, a few learners, and International Instructor Waliyyuddi9n Bilal was one of those who took that concept, that idea, and he took it to heart, took it to mind, and he ran with it. He developed a whole science, a whole movement, which today is an extension of the work of W.D. Farad, of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of Imam W.D. Muhammad. Is an extension of all that work and a refinement to the point where you and I, not only can we go directly to Mother Nature, directly to the fitra, as it's called in the Quran, and gain a firmer grip on our life than we've ever been able to do before, and actually create the type of tomorrow that we want for ourselves by being able to understand the Quran, the words, not only the words in the Quran, but the letters that make up the words. And of course, well, those of us who are English speaking people, we may not be that familiar with the Arabic in the Quran per se, and we may have to depend more on the English. But lo and behold, we have been blessed with the tools again to be able to use the English even to gain a deep understanding of the Quran itself and of what is pointing to as the mother of the book, the fitra, Mother Nature. So we're able to look into the natural environment inside of us, all around us, in the heavens and the earth, in the plant life. We're able to look into it and look at the patterns that Allah have established throughout the creation. That's what we call the fitra, and be able to utilize any language, be it Arabic, English, French, Kiswahili, it doesn't matter. And NuNetics gives us the keys to be able to unlock the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, so that we can apply it in our everyday life, in our family life, and be able to create the tomorrow that we want for ourselves, to be able to create a daily routine, not ritual, but routine that produces the kind of results that we want to give us the highest quality of life possible for ourselves. That's what NuNetics can do for us. I understand that we have some new members, and we want to welcome you, give you a personal welcome to our class environment, and let you know that you have been selected. We understand and realize that the things that we do in life has a way of positioning us for the blessings of the life to be drawn to us. So something you've done is something that the source creator sees in you at this point in time in your life to introduce you to something that's a great gift. And that great gift is called NuNetics, you know. So you have something in your hands now that can really give you uh, a toehold on life like never before. So just relax. It might seem a little strange at first, but just know that just like when you were in kindergarten learning your ABCs, we are prepared right now to help you. Instructor Benjamin Bilal and I, we're working on the ABCs of NuNetics. So you come at a good time. Come at a good time. And I understand that you're working with uh, the book that an international instructor has penned for you called the N word. And so you had a good time, a good place. You have an excellent imam there at Masjid Baina that you couldn't have been in a better situation. Not only do you have our illustrious instructor, international instructor, Benjamin Bilal, but you have Imam Kareem there to work with you on a first-hand basis. So you have the best of both worlds, and you have the environment right there in Atlanta to be able to share that with others. The best way to learn it is to share as you learned, to share with others and invite others to come in and learn with you. So again, your family. And we want to just extend that kind of family invitation to just relax, dig in. You have to learn this information. So again, you're in a good situation to learn. Maybe even better than some of us who are spread out around the United States and around the world that are also learners, just like you. So and I just want to make you feel at home and relax. Waliyyuddi9n Sabir is with International Instructor, and he's going to fill the rest of the class in on the type of progress that you've been experiencing so far. And he will be the one to work with you on even on a one-on-one basis, I'm sure. He'll share more of that level of information with you. And I don't know, maybe even one of our administrators.
Big, beautiful bill that's not getting enough coverage.
Okay, if you have your whatever your device you're using, your phone or your computer, please make sure that it's at this point that it's muted. And keep your cameras open. We want you on video so we can see you, but mute your sound, please, if you haven't done so yet. Now, Nawa, I don't know if you had anything you want to share before Wally gets started. If not, we'll turn the talking stick over to Wally, and he can do what he does best.
Yeah. Salaam Alaykum, everyone. I'm going to just do a quick announcement. Welcome to the new members. It's always great having new people. I was new about 2 years ago, so I always just love when there's new members, and welcome. I just want to do a quick, just quickly for the class, because we were expecting to go a certain direction, but it's shifting a bit. So we are not working in our groups this class or this session, because we're going to be doing something different with Waliyyuddi9n. He's going to present today, which is really awesome. He's with Instructor Bilal, so that's a really, really great thing. So we're going to be shifting today, and we'll focus on the new group setups afterwards. But being that we do have new group members, I'll just give you a quick understanding of what it is that we're doing in our groups. So as Instructor William has just presented, we are trying to understand the seed ideations of every Quranic letter, which is also reflective, and it doesn't even really matter which language it is. It's the same principles, the same ideas. Each letter or each sound has an innate meaning within them. So we're trying to work on this new science and uncover that, as well as deepen our understanding of the world around us through that process. So in these in our Sunday sessions, what we do now is we have groups. And we have groups of 4, and of the 30 members or so that we have a set number of group members in there. And we focus on each letter one at a time. I'm going to read just a quick thing in the NuNetics book. This is our introduction. So every letter in the Arabic alphabet has its own unique meaning, which you will see in the letter breakdown. The complete meaning of a word is determined by a seed letter. The complete meaning, just as a physical seed takes root and grows into a beneficial plant, a seed letter will produce root words. Seed letters before we get a root word. That's where we missed in our standard school sessions. That can potentially develop into branches of useful knowledge. NuNetics is the process of learning words based upon the connections, connotations, implications, and applications of their seed letters. NuNetics introduces a system of understanding word definitions that is consistent with what the Quran calls the fitra. There's an amazing session that instructor interviewed Michael Chanel, a really great instructor and learner. And they really talk about consonants and vowels and what that means. And to have a deeper understanding of that, we definitely could check that video out as well. So in every one of the classes, and when we're meeting in our groups, we'll start with, for example, the first letter in the Quranic alphabet, might be familiar in other languages as well, Aleph. And we'll break that down, given this process, understanding the connotation, the connections, implication, and applications. But also, we utilize the other part of the process, which is each letter, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish criteria, which is Aleph is representative in the part of the body. So there's a part of the body somewhere that each letter is represented by. Then there is an environmental meaning in nature or in our everyday social lives, where their environmental meaning is represented in that letter. Then we have an abstract meaning. So I would say in life, there's literal, but then there's abstract, and they go hand in hand. It's just a dual nature of everything. And then lastly, we look into the Quran to find root words that contain that letter and try to see if we have that seed understanding and meaning contained within that root word, and how that can expand our knowledge and understanding of what a word can mean based off the letter, but the letter is a sound. So that's pretty much our process, and we just have a deeper understanding of what each letter means. And when we do have that understanding and we are referring back to the Quran or things that we see in the world around us, it's just so much more heightened and strengthened of an understanding. And as we go through this process, for instance, the last 2 weeks, we went through our first review after 4 months of following this process with each other. And we gotten through the first 7 letters of the Quranic alphabet. And it's been an amazing experience. We had our tough times. We are still trying to figure things out, but I would say that it definitely strengthened our understanding, our knowledge, and our communication and communion with one another, which is very important, because in the end, it's all about relationships and how do we affect each other for the greater good and for Allah's ultimate purpose. So just quick thing for the group, just reminders. These are just some housekeeping things that we're trying to develop, because it's been a lot of the classes have been instructor Bilal lecturing us and giving us this great insight and information. But now it's our turn to be able to not only absorb it, but to also put it back out into the world and be able to communicate what we've been learning. So we shifted the class structure a bit to be a little bit more uniformed, and so that it could be more welcoming for new members. And sometimes structure will help us get there. as well as the heart and the soul. So, class reminder for you guys, and then this is just something for everyone else. We definitely need and highly want or recommend people be on camera. Some people have issues, which we understand, but we're trying to work through that. We need to be on camera. And then also, when we are on camera, we need to have proper lighting and proper setup. Nothing special and nothing that's costly is necessary, but just enough so that we can see each other's face clearly in the camera. We have enough lighting so that there is a quality image in front of us and one that is presentable. So I've done some research and there are lights that are really affordable. And because we have like our group size has age range from the youngest to the oldest, but we do have please forgive me, I don't mean to be rude, a lot of older folks in the group. So there's a breakdown a little bit in the technology space. So we're trying to work on that as well. But there are lights that are seen for really good prices. And we just want for anyone who is having issues with their setup or with access to those things, please reach out to us. You can either reach out to me, Adam, I'm throwing you in there, Adam, or Instructor William, and then we'll see what we can arrange to help you out. There are members also in the group who are willing to help those who struggle a little bit with some of the more technological things, where we could kind of we'll do either a session for some of those folks who are really having trouble, or we'll pair you with someone who is willing and able to dedicate time to helping you with your setup. But I can only help you as much as you reach out. So please reach out to us if you absolutely need help. Just shoot a quick email and we'll do our best. And I'm going to repeat it one more time. You want to refer that to me, Adam, or Instructor William with that section of issues. During the class sessions, we just need to keep the flow going. So just remember, everyone, raise your hand before speaking. So today is a good example. Instructor Wali will be speaking, and he'll be giving a presentation, but there might be things that people want to say or ask questions. Use the raise a hand emoji if you know how. If not, just raise it on the screen. We'll try our best to see you, but if you don't use the emoji, you'll fall further down in the lineup and we'll have a hard time seeing you. When we are presenting, after we are in our groups, each group presents what their findings or if they have any questions or concerns after when we all reconvene and work together as one main group. So now the change that we'll be doing is there'll be one presenter. That presenter should also be the note taker because you'll obviously operate best when you are presenting what it is that you have written, although it is a group learning experience. So just the presenter will present for 3 to 4 minutes. And then after the presenter is done, Instructor Bilal will come in, correct us, or pose questions to keep the conversation going within that group. 3 is group roles. So each group has an assigned role, and you want to do that at the start of the class. For every group, there is a group leader / facilitator to help the conversation keep going and smooth and making sure that everyone is participating to the best of their ability and to also put things into perspective to keep the conversation rolling. But outside of that, someone needs to keep time. Timing is really important because there's a lot to cover and we're trying to get through everything. So timekeeper needs to be on point with that. And then also keep accountability and effectiveness. And then we need a presenter and a note taker. And it's recommended that everyone participate to the best that they can. And then lastly, we've been in the same group for 4 months. And we're at the place now where we are restructuring the group. So for our new members, if this is something that you will be a part of, hopefully, inshallah, you'll be a part of long term, we would like to include you in that group restructuring. So what's really important about the groups is some groups have a little bit harder time than others. And we really want to construct groups where there are strong members with members who might need a little bit more help to pull them up. So if we are gathering everyone's information, and then we can look at it, we would be able to determine what is the best setup so that everyone can win. Is there something that I'm missing? I think that's it. That's just quick reminders and just letting everyone know who's new, how we operate in the class. Last thing I wanted to speak to was when we did the review. I don't know if it's too late for me to pull it up. Do I have a minute, Adam? to pull this up real quickly. I don't want to take too much time.
So it seems, yeah, go ahead.
I'm good? Okay, cool. If everyone could just give me 1 minute, I just want you to see what we've been working on. Why don't I see it right now? Okay. I'm going to share my screen quickly. And I'm going to ask Adam, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Just Adam. Got it. Perfect. So I'm assuming everyone else can. So this is what we have been working on for the past 2 weeks, which is our NuNetics 4-month letter review. And here, if you look on the left-hand panel, column A, we'll see all of the letters that we've worked on. Aleph, Beit, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, and Kha. These are all the letters we've gotten through so far. And then this is the breakdown of each of those letters. So we have the environmental meaning, which is the process that highlighted in the NuNetics book. I'll just show you on the screen that instructor has developed for us to understand these letters. So what is the environmental meaning, for example? And then we have next the body representation. You'll see column C, because every letter is representative in a part of our body. And then we have our abstract meaning. And then here's just a few Quranic root words. And what we did is we broke down how these words are connected to that C letter meaning. Just quickly, Aleph, its environmental meaning and its connection to the body representation. So Aleph is represented by the spine. And if you could kind of see here, column A, row 3, you'll see Aleph, and then you'll see the Arabic script, and it's kind of like a straight line, but with a curve in it, which is very similar to the human spine. And then when you think about the spine and what it does, it holds the body upright. It also allows your organs to receive signals from the brain, which controls everything. So the spine, you can't not have a spine and be able to function as we do. So in an environmental sense, we think of uprightness, and the spine is what holds us upright. So then we're going to move forward a bit, and we'll think of a Quranic root word is Abra, and Abra is connected to Abraham. And it doesn't matter which of the Abrahamic faiths you are a part of, we all know who that is. And he is essentially the father, and he holds the community upright. He was called the upright. And also through Abraham, all of our other faiths that are connected to what we know as Allah or God come through that lineage. Him as the father of, religion as we know it. So that's pretty much, and just imagine just from that alone, how much that can open up for you. When most people think of Abraham, they're not thinking about the spine. But when we think about what the spine does in the body, it definitely connects. So I just wanted to show you that, and this can go on forever. So I'm going to end it here. And the last quick announcement for the emails, we're trying to aggregate everyone's emails, and we only received 12 Google Forms. Adam had put up the Google form so that you could complete that really quickly. Ask for your name, number, email address, and which group you're in. It's a very simple form, and we only got 12 people to complete it, and there are 30-something people in our group. We really need that so that we can keep things more streamlined, and we're reaching out to people and sending these homework, these recap assignments, because after every class, I send a recap of what was discussed and just some hints on what we need to keep on the lookout for the following week. But I don't want to send it to 60 people and there's only 30 people in the class. So that's something that we still need to get more consistency on. And maybe later or another time, Adam can speak a little bit more to that. But that concludes my hopefully short presentation. And yes, I'm ready to get this NuNetics party started.
Great. Salaam Alaykum, everyone. Now we have a hand raised. You want to entertain that before we start? Sister Celia.
Thank you for telling me. I was not looking at the screen, so I missed it. Yes.
Alhamdulillah, I just want to, Salaam Alaikum, everyone. I want to address the form that Adam sent. I tried to deal with it last night or early this morning, and it said I was too late. So I think he needs to resend it or something. Thank you.
Adam, do you want to speak to that?
I'll take a look. We'll look into it. Thank you, Celia.
Bye.
We
Okay.
also have Abdullah hand up. I'll just Abdullah, you can.
Yeah, go ahead. No, will that screen that you just presented, will that be sent out? That's
That was
filled
sent out last week. I sent that out.
and that's all filled out right there. It was filled out just like that.
The one that I sent out last week was, remember we did it as an entire main group. I sent that one out last week.
Oh, but not the one that you just presented.
The one that I just showed you was group ones. I can send that to you guys if y'all want to see group ones as well.
That's nice. Yeah, you can show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Salaam Alaikum once again. Waliyyuddi9n Sabir here. I'm definitely honored to be here present with our international instructor here in the NuNetics studio. Lovely, lovely. I really am very impressed with what I see here. The purpose of my presentation is to kind of walk you through what's been going on in Atlanta with the Atlanta class. Now, as you know, maybe you don't, the Atlanta class normally starts at 2, so they should be coming in right in a few minutes, inshallah. And what we wanted to do, and International Instructor wanted to do today, is make this a kind of a welcoming event for some of the new class members that have recently become a part of the Atlanta class. As instructor, international instructor said earlier, with Imam Kareem, we are really, and Instructor William also mentioned this, we are really blessed to have someone of Imam Kareem's dedication and caliber to be a part of this process. It's been over a year now that the class of Atlanta decided that, look, we needed in-person presence, and we started with the NuNetics book and went through each letter through months of just dealing with the NuNetics book, and it was really a very revealing and awesome process. This, to me, represents what this really is, what NuNetics is really about. It's a movement. It's a movement that whose time has truly come, and it represents our inheritance. And so we went through the NuNetics book, had I think it was like every 2 months or 3 months, we had a actual test of evaluation, and everybody, was very excited about, going through that process and learned a whole lot. And it kind of served as a model, if you will, for what is developed and I'm really excited about what's this breakdown that we have now, and with the structure that is coming together. And we know that with what we have already gone through in the Atlanta class, this is really building on that and making it much more effective. So after going through the entire book, the NuNetics book, seed letter by seed letter, then we dealt with the 50 most common used words in the Quran, the entire book. And that was really, a very exciting process, or exciting class. Having Imam Kareem with his insights and being able to walk us through many of the, deep, Quranic connections through the use of that book was very, very, it was a good class. And after we completed that book, and where we are now, we're in the N-word as a class. We just about, to complete that book as well. So we in the Atlanta class, and what I'd like to do here, rather than I want to, for us to treat this more of as a conversation where I have something I want to share with you, and then open up for any, questions or dialogue about, the process of what we have experienced in the Atlanta class, so that, you can have the opportunity to, have some dialogue and exchange about that process. So, as I said, we in each class, that in each book, the NuNetics book, the 50 most used words in the Quran, dealing with that connection, and then the N-word. Each we take an evaluation at periodically to make sure that we are internalizing this material, and this has been very, very helpful. So we should be having them to come in a few minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to welcome and introduce our new students, and you get a chance to see more of the the class members. So at this point, while we have a few minutes, I want to share something with you that I was listening to the video that Instructor did with Michael. It was Michael, right? I don't know if you had a chance to really see that, but that was truly, a phenomenal presentation. And what struck me about that is that I had written something, in every movement, there's a cultural component that really, in my mind, brings further dimension and light to that movement. So I wrote this little piece that I want to share with you, and then I see some raised hand, and we'll entertain those. Okay. So this is a little short piece I want to share with you. It says, "Nowhere in the Quran will you find the word Islam alone. Who decided that the L should be gone? El Islam is the only way it is represented in the Quran. So, is Islam an innovation created by man? El Islam is what the source creator gave to humanity. In the heart of the model human, this revelation was sent so we could be free. repealing darkness and establishing the light, equipping us so the schemes of Satan we could fight. Islam is what brought the world out of darkness to the age of enlightenment. But there were those who wanted to redefine the mission for which revelation was sent. The number one scheme of Satan is to objectify reality so that through the lens of materialism, the world we would see. The spiritual dimensions of the human essence would be played down, while the physical foundation would lack the frequency to make it sound. Those individuals who embrace the satanic mind has a mission of making the true human rare and hard to find. It has declared itself to be the open enemy of the human being, with a goal of proving humans to be unfit and unclean. To reach their goal, they saw one solution: to corrupt the frequency of words that shape the human constitution. So that's something that I wanted to share because as I listened to that presentation, it just, resonated because it was so much in tune with that. So I want to at this point, alhamdulillah, acknowledge some of the hands that are raised. So I see the iPhone. Go ahead.
Salaam Alaykum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, the question I have for you, Waliyyuddi9n, when it comes to the transition from ritualism to fitra, science-based theology, how did the community under the leadership of the President Imam and yourselves come to that transition? Was it a smooth transition?
Yeah, now that's a very good question. Imam Kareem is really very intelligent. He realized that, everybody's not on the same level. So we don't want to push anyone away. So he has the strategy of really dealing with people where they are. And of course, we know, if you follow particularly his khutbahs from, week to week, that he is bringing the Quran, the true message of the Quran in a way where people are really beginning to see, what this deen is really all about. So there's a group of, so I guess it's about 4 imams that, rotate at Baina from week to week. And most of them, have embraced this language that is being advanced through our study of NuNetics. Because we know that NuNetics is a tool that really embraces this movement to bring us back to, the true deen that Allah has established for us to come into our true human state. So, Imam, I think, he's very patient and not trying to really, take anyone. It's just, to me, he's very open and very strategic in a way, he goes about as a leader there in that community. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
It's important to be strategic. It's important.
Yes, sir. Yes. All right. Okay, there's another hand.
there are various levels. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought I had, this is a deep. No, go ahead if you was already speaking. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, brother.
Brother Muhammad, were you finished?
Oh, yes, I was finished.
Okay.
Sure.
Good.
Thank you,
Brother D.
Imam Ateen. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Shukran. I would first, that was powerful. This is direction, we're being carried and assisted through the direction of NuNetics by people such as yourself. I would like for you to,
Adi,
yes.
let me just help my brother out. Your head is right at the bottom. We're trying to, there you go. There you
Okay, sir, excuse me.
now.
I had did what I wasn't supposed to. I put my face on.
Oh, you're good. You're good right there.
Shukran. I would like to have, would you send us that poem that you made? I would
Alhamdulillah.
really like to have that. That's history in the making.
Alhamdulillah.
I mean, seriously, that's history in the making, and and it's heartfelt that I see that we as a community of common unity want to share those things that are going to enlighten us and help us to assist somebody that comes behind us, that each one turns into a Khalifa, you know.
Alhamdulillah.
And I am overjoyed about where we have come as a people through the legacy and teachings of Imam Waliyyuddi9n Muhammad. We cannot forget the bridge that carried us over. Shukran
Yeah.
Jazila.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, I'll be glad to. I'll share that. Make sure that the instructor, I'll email it to him and then he can send it out. And alhamdulillah, I'm more than honored to do that. Awesome. Okay. So we still have a few minutes before the Atlanta class come in. Hopefully they will be here at 2. So is there any other, questions, comments? I see another hand. Go ahead, brother.
Salaam Alaykum, Brother Bennett.
Wa alaikum salam.
I have a compound question. They're both Quranic. You had made a statement about Islam and people identifying the deen as Islam. I have problems with people about that all the time. I keep telling them that the proper identity of the deen should be specified as al-Islam.
Yes, sir.
What I want to know is what surah in the Quran identifies it as al-Islam, first of all.
Okay.
When I start telling people that, I can't refer them to the surah. So can you please tell me one surah that identifies it as al-Islam?
Okay, Imam Adid, would you share with your information and your knowledge on that? Because I mean, nowhere, in the Quran is this. I know that it's just this Islam alone. Everywhere,
5-3.
Go ahead.
5-3 or 5-4.
5-3.
Yes, look at 5-3.
Surah 5 and 3. Okay.
No, Surah 5, verse 3.
Yes, Surah 5 and 3. I got it.
Yes.
And the other, thank you very much.
Well, read that. Read that.
I will. Okay.
Read it out if you want. If you have it there.
Oh, I don't have the Quran close to me, but
okay.
I wanted to ask the other question. It's a compound question.
Can you find it and share it with us, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Okay. The other question was you had mentioned about Satan making a vow to do his thing against humanity. Since Satan has made a vow against humanity, what should be our vow against him?
Well, I reflect on the words of Imam Muhammad, and he said to us that, we should never think that, we want to fight Satan, head on. Our object is to fight the schemes of Satan, to identify the schemes of Satan. That's where our great strength is in identifying and fighting. And to me, there's no better opportunity for us that we have here through this class of NuNetics to identify, that helps us identify the schemes of the shaitan. And we know that it is really through the corrupt, language environment. This is where his schemes live. And so this is why this is such a powerful weapon, for us to embrace this NuNetic method is, is truly something that only Allah could bless us with.
Here it is. It
Yeah.
says, "This day I have perfected for you your religion and completed my favor upon you, and have approved for you Islam as your religion."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As your dean.
But
yes,
see, but here's I'm in English it says Islam, but in coming from the Quran itself, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان وريديات الكمول الإسلام دينين. Islam, not the definite article has to be applied at ta'arifi. The definite article has to be applied when you're talking about Islam, not Islam. Shukran jazilan. I love this.
Shukran. Thank you. Beautiful. Powerful, powerful. Yeah. And so, the thing is that, and this is really one of the main points in the piece that I wrote, is that the whole notion that Islam is something that is so much a part of the current language environment is really something to take us off track and take us away from what we should really be focused on, because we know that there are no accidents in that in the Quran. Everything that Allah gave us and gives us is purposeful. It has definite meaning, and so no way should we take it upon ourselves to go away from the direction that Allah gives us and the path that He's put us on. So it is really, as the point we're making, it is a innovation. It's something when they go say often, accusing people of bid'ah and going astray, going off the path. And that is really the first, that is a major bid'ah to try to establish something that Allah has not established. So to me, that's very important. Okay, so any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I have my hand raised. I was just waiting
yes,
for you.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, please.
My question was, and maybe this is a question what we gotta address in like a separate meeting. How will we incorporate the Atlanta classes with our Sunday class?
Yes.
If that's a goal, like how can we work together? Because I don't think we should work separately, especially since we have similar times where we study.
Right. And that's a very good question. I know Imam Kareem and I have had that conversation also. What I think it's something that we need to really have some, maybe a separate meeting or dialogue, and just to kind of see, how we can, work all that out. But I know there's a lot to be, there's a lot of benefit for this class from the experiences that we've had in the Atlanta class, and there's a lot that the Atlanta class can gain from this larger class. So I'm looking forward to that conversation taking place. So, Brother Rafa.
It's Abdullah now. He just didn't take his hand down, so you can give it to Abdullah C.
Okay,
Yeah.
Abdullah.
Yeah, I was going to add some of the question. Rafa asked about dealing with Satan. How should we, again, as Muslim, day to day deal with the trials and tribulations of Satan? Because it's within as well as without. But the within, I guess, is equally as important as without, but it begins within. Anyone can answer that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody can chime in on that, as you said. But again, you know, it's been one of the things that noted that the prophet said that the deen is sincerity. You know, when we are sincere in our effort to practice and to really become more established in this deen, you know, what we're looking again to identify those schemes that take us off, you know, from our true selves, because this is really what we are, you know, seeking to be really established. And these tools that we are getting through our study of this system, this NuNetic method, really should help us to become more and more confident in what we have as being able to ward off these influences that would take us away from what the path that we are going on and seeking to establish ourselves on. So, you know, that's one of the things that I see. Of course, if you know the three levels of the soul, the Amara, the Nesal Amara, the Nesal Awamana, the Nesal Mutma'inna, those are things that, you know, we are constantly, you know, working with, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Because, you know, we have that commanding, we have those issues that are commanding that, and we have those things that where we need to question ourselves about and make sure that, you know, that self-accusing spirit is something that, you know, is active, is alive. And of course, the balance of it all is that third stage of the soul, the Nesala Mutma'inna, where it is really managing and giving balance to us to manage the whole life, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about balance and frequency. So that's what I would say, you know, to what to your question for that, Abdullah, is that it's about us being sincere and really seeking to be the very best that we can be, using the tools that we have to establish this deen, you know, as a major part of our lives. So any other comments on that?
Yeah, I just real quick, I don't want to take too much more time. I'm just trying to get a clear definition, Satan versus the devil.
A clear definition of Satan versus the devil. I mean, okay, you talked about English and you talked about, you know, the Arabiya. Okay, because it's what we're talking about is energy. What we're talking about is frequency, you know, and so, but it's the same. Those are wayward energies or frequencies that would take us away from being our true selves. Any of those deviant, frequencies or ideas that we would give ourselves to would lead to, that demonic, or devil tendencies or satanic tendencies. So, the thing is for us to really see that, to me, this is why what Imam Muhammad said was so profound. To me, that was one of the most profound statements that was made in the whole history of man. Words make people. I mean, it's simple, but it is so profound. So, what words will we choose to feed out to be a part of our daily diet? Are we going to allow those words that have low, and base frequencies, or we're going to choose a diet of high frequency, energized words that's going to empower us and allow us to be the very best that we can be. So it's just yes. So instruct, yeah, yeah. So to me, that's really what it's about.
On Wally, let me just share.
Yes, sir. Please.
I would strongly suggest to really answer that question for each one of us, to go back to the presentation that instructor gave us on habits
Yes.
in our last
Right.
class. I mean, seriously.
Yes, you're right.
Study, listen to it 3 or 4 times, and then take the advice that Wally just gave you. Look at the 3 levels of the soul, and started with Nessun Armada. That's where the problem is seen, and then go to that next level of the soul. Start questioning yourself. Start questioning yourself. Follow that pattern that instructor laid out in our last class. And when you do that in a state of the last level of the soul, Mutmainna, where you're getting silent, you're listening to yourself. You raise questions on the second level, then you listen. Allah will bring you your answer. Each one of us will bring us our answer of how to deal with not shaitan on the outside. That ain't the real problem. Our problem is shaitan inside.
Yes. Yes.
So just follow the process. Study. I think the instructor did an excellent job of laying it out, but you got to listen to that lecture carefully and study it, and then take what Wally just gave you in terms of straight from the Quran.
Yeah, because we
and then you have to practice. You have to rehearse it over and over and over and over again. Pretty soon, the neocortex in the front of your brain, of my brain, it will begin to adopt the logic in that process, and as you practice it, it'll start working, and you start selecting, as Wally just said, you start using selecting the words that you want to replace the words that support Shaitan's way, that's inside of you, that's inside of me. By your repeating that over and over and over again, by you selecting those words. Words make people, so you will make sure that the words that's making you is the words that you want to be in your subconscious. And then by practicing that over and over and over again, eventually each one of us will start seeing more and more change and more results in our day-to-day life experience.
Yeah, that's excellent. For both of y'all. Now, because I see that the word, because we studying words here, right? Because we're trying to get more out of words. We're trying to squeeze whatever we can get the meaning of words in the language and how it affects on our our brain, right? Our behavior. I see that evil, when it's spelled backwards, is live. It's spelled live. So I'm seeing in that, it's just like a reversal. So there is something there. The crafters, there's something there.
Subliminal message.
Huh?
2 ways. Subliminal message. A subliminal message 2 ways.
Okay.
Live evil.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes.
I'm
And I
gonna
see you put the devil, you put the D in front of evil, you got devil. So I miss, just trying to see how now that how these words that we have been English words, and we're trying to also versus the Arabic words or the Christianity, what we have been taught how to these concepts um have infiltrated us. So I'm just looking at, I'm trying to see how now when we compare to the Arabic words, how different or how similar is it? I know it's the Arabic. It's always giving us a more in-depth, trying to elevate us because that's the last revelation, right?
Yes.
But nonetheless, the Christian thought ain't too far. It's just incomplete, and Islam is complete. I
Well,
guess you wait for a question.
I
Or
wanted
making
to
statement for a question.
thank you, Abdullah. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to interject really quickly. We free to welcome answer that, Wally. Just keep in mind you do have the other class. So if they're
yes.
not in the call by now, then they're missing out. So maybe you want
Okay.
to bring in a call and you could probably finish that off. And then Salia had her hand up. And then
And
after
Imam Adib also have his hand up.
and Imam Abdib, exactly. Yep. So both have their hands up. So
Okay.
let's at least invite them in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so Salir, you want to go first and then Imam Adib?
I'd rather Imam Adib goes first.
Okay. All right, Imam Adib. Your
You're
mic
muted.
is
Salaam
muted.
Alaykum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
We have at our disposal because of the international instructor. It says, we know that it says, this is the book in there is no doubt. So if we go to 1698, it said, I seek refuge with Allah against the rejected enemy. We're finding that we can go and get the evidence of what is being seen. And because of how we've been instructed, we look for those root words so we can go to the place in the Quran, and we talk about the fitra, we talking about 30-30. We talking about
Yes.
insight.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we go to how this is, how hard it is for us to learn the Arabic, it says on 54, Quran, the moon, 54, 17, 22, 32, and 40, we have indeed made the Quran easy to learn and remember. Well, look at your son Quran al for hal mamu that kareem. It's right here. But we have to begin as a group
Wait a minute.
conscious to begin to look at each letter in each word, to come up with a word and look for the evidence that's already planted in the heavens, in the earth, and in ourselves. Shukran.
Wait. Tell them. Okay. Hold on one second. We're trying to let someone in. That's Adam. Tell Adam. Adam, can you let someone is in the waiting room. Can you let him in? Okay. Sorry, Imam Adib. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Did I let me do it real quickly. I started out when you talking about Shaitan. 1698. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We seek refuge with Allah against the rejected enemy. The other one is 30-30. It gives us, just like we have 20-20 sight, 30-30 give us insight about the future. Don't go against the natural pattern that's designed by you, by the creator. 95-4, we have indeed created the human being in the best of organizational symmetry, and how it becomes the easiest 54, 17, 22, 32, and 40 that says, Lakat Yasano Qurana Levika for Hal Mamu Dhakari. We have indeed made the Quran easy to learn and remember. And then in the end it says, will you not receive admonition? It's like old folks tell you didn't heard what I said. You know how this is done. Don't go against yourself. You ain't using the good sense God gave you. Shukran.
Yes. Definitely. Shukran. Thank you. Yes. So Sister Celia.
Salaam Alaikum, everyone.
Was
I referring back to the question about shaitan, I first want in where to find things in the Quran. I always use the index in the back if it has one. So if you got a question, just use the index and look up the words, and it gives you words and ayats. I've only found one Quran in my lifetime that didn't have an index, and that one had a definition for every word as you read it. So mashallah, that's one thing. The other thing I want to remind all of us is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he is as close to us as our jugular vein. You can't get no closer than that, okay, than the jugular vein. And he said he answers, which our instructor reminded this of in our last class, that he answers the call to anyone who calls on him. So we don't have no excuse for worrying about shaitan, okay, because Allah is here next to us, with us, and
Yes.
he allows. So
Mhm.
if it's something he allows, you can pray to Allah and talk to him because he's right there. So just talk to him. I'm afraid. Help me get rid of the fear. I don't like what's going on down the street or in Israel or whatever it is that's concerning you at the time. Just speak to Allah about it and ask for some peace in yourself. The other thing I want to remind us of is Imam instructor has a book called The Four Birds.
Mhm.
Shaitan is attacking us through the fitra.
Mhm.
He's lying. He's actually waiting for us and whispering to us through the fitra, through the water, through the environment, through the earth, through anything natural, he's going to be there and whisper to us. So we are responsible, as far as I understand, for the natural around us that we can control. The other thing I wanted to say is I think that's it. I
Yes.
just want to remind us of that.
Alhamdulillah. That's very beautiful. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Any other comments, questions? This has been very, very, very awesome.
Muhammad has something to say. I'm
Yes, go
sorry.
ahead, brother Muhammad.
Yeah, also, some of us may have heard Imam Waliyyuddi9n Muhammad say in a public address, he said, if you want to see Satan, we talk about Satan, it says it's a force or energy outside of us. No, it emanates inside of us. We have both
Muhammad,
the positive and
Muhammad,
negative frequency.
Muhammad, watch
Yeah.
Nate now, right there, right there.
Just yeah, we can hear you. Just talk.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said, if you want to see Satan, Imam Waliyyuddi9n Muhammad, he said, if you want to see Satan, say, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. It emanates from the inside. It's the low vibrating frequencies that takes us out of our human nature. We're going beyond the fitra. Things that lack common sense, that's not logic based, science based, irrational. These are the frequencies that bring in the Satan mindset or frequency. But it's inside. It's not a force outside of us. It's in us. We have the propensity to follow either the negative or the positive vibrations and frequencies that's innate in all of our 14 trillion cells.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, I see a new hand. I don't see the name, but thank you, brother Muhammad.
You're
Would you
welcome.
go ahead? I see the young lady, but I don't.
My name, hello, Assalamu Alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, walaikum
Yes.
salam.
My
Go
name
ahead.
is my name is Elianette. I wanted to just piggyback off of what brother was just expressing. I actually had studied Buddhism, a specific type of Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism, for about 7 years. And it just brings up for me how when it is discussed as far as life states or life conditions, that we all experience a life condition of hell. So we can actually operate from or operate out of devilish functions or devilish tendencies. So that's what just came up for me, and I just wanted to comment and share that yes, a lot of it's internal, right? We have to
Yes.
look within first, and not be fixated externally. That yeah, so just wanted to make that comment. Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Very, very awesome comment. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, Salaam Alaykum.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I'm pleased to hear what you had to say and what everyone else has to say. But when we talk about Al-Islam and we talk about NuNetics, I think what it does, it gives us a perspective in our daily life, and it gives us a perspective in how to deal with the cultural life, because the cultural life attempts to keep you on impulse and to keep you blind. But at the same time, I think whatever you do, whatever knowledge that you have, Al-Islam, the Quran, and then we were blessed with this NuNetics, gives you a perspective of how to deal with the language of where you are and what you do. You may be an educator, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may be in high finance. So with that perspective, you can deal with things a little bit better and on a human level in all the sciences. And so that's where we are. I think it gives us a point of leadership, even on a very small level, but on a big level too, depending on who you are and what you deal with. Because the impulses of this society are always trying to lock you in to your lower self. But culture is big. I play drums. I play drums, and I understand, and it's very stimulating, but at the same time, you have to understand what it is and give it a perspective as you do it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. That's great. Yeah, and one of the things that I was reflecting on as I listening to some of the comments is how, when we look at the iceberg, we know that only 10% of it's seen and 90% is not seen. And I, of course, compare that to our conscious and our subconscious. And so I was reflecting upon the fact that we know that 90% of what control our decisions, our actions, is coming out of the subconscious. So, just for an example, like one of the things we're talking about is the use of the words that become there's a part of our common vernacular, like black, white, even Islam. I think we have to become more conscious, of how these words is driving and what the roots of these words in our subconscious mind. If we don't see that part of the point that we're making in the piece, that one of the number one objectives of the shaitan has been to objectify humanity. And how is that done? It's done through the language environment. And Imam Muhammad made the point that if we want to remake the world, we must first reconstruct the word environment. This corrupt word environment is the words. I always, a thing that I've always seen is that our world, our community look just like the pictures that we have in our mind. So if we want to change the world, we have to change the pictures that we have in our mind. And if one of the things that I see that's happening in the world today, for an example, I'm gonna give you an example. When I look at if what I read and what I hear about what's going on in Burkina Faso with Ibrahim Traoré, for example, how they rejecting the language, the French language. They have made that language not the dominant language. They are turning things around in a way where they can get back to their true state. what's just as Celia mentioned, the four birds. If you look at how if what I'm hearing and seeing is true, how they have transformed even the what was a big problem in Burkina Faso, the waste, the organic and the solid waste. And they have turned that into a multi-billion-dollar industry by redefining or rethinking how they process waste. And so those are simple things that, and I say this, in my mind, uh, what's going on there is definitely they have embraced Islam and not Islam, because the Islam that have the Muslim world and the world in the state that is in, I see something different. I see different dynamics that are evolving and coming about through basic, just rethinking about how you deal with the fitra. And
right.
so to me, that's just an example, of a live example of what's going on and how we can transform our world by transforming the way we think and what we uh, focus on. Because as instructor always say, and reminds us that what you focus on, expands. So we really need to become more conscious about the words that we use um, on a day-to-day basis, uh, so that and personally, I think every time I use black, as a definition or a identity, I'm reinforcing the slave uh, language that was created. Every time I use white to describe somebody, I'm reinforcing the slave language that was created to bring about the division and break down, our true human state. So I think it's very important that we become more conscious about the words that we use on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and one more thing. I'm excuse me. I know Al-Islam is not a prison house,
Right.
and it's not a void of science. As a matter of fact, it takes you to science, and I think we should understand that. So and not become assimilated with a prison house language mentality, so we can advance ourselves, our families, our community, advance humanity. It's not a prison house. And like I was saying, and it's not anti-scientific.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Let
Is our
me
group,
see.
is the
I'm
Atlanta group in here?
I'm trying to see if they are in yet. I'm gonna for my presentation. Okay. Well, what we'll do at this point, because I don't see the Atlanta group in yet. So I'm going to give the talking stick and back up and hand it over to our international instructor. And I want to thank you very much for allowing me to share and being a part of this process. I hope it's been beneficial. Now, we have two hands up. You want to ding? Okay, Amina, would you go ahead?
Sorry, yes. Assalamu alaikum,
Wa
everyone.
alaikum salam.
I just want to piggyback on what Celia was mentioning about the four birds. So when we think about the four birds, I'm just reminding all of us, there's a verse in the Quran when Shaitan is speaking, saying, I will approach the children of Adam from before, from behind, from the left and the right. So when we think about the forest, we have to remember those elements, those four elements on each level. When I think of the corruption around the world that's going on, with in the political world, all of those energies are intertwining and it's just chaotic. There's no order. And that's also on a psychological level. When we think of cultural, what's, what we allow to happen in the culture with the music, etc., and also with the economics, with the spiritual, and with education, so that's what I want to say. That's what I thought of as she was talking about the four birds.
Alhamdulillah. Beautiful.
Alhamdulillah.
Brother Bashir.
Okay, I just want to make this brief. I saw on my header when I first opened up to join the class, it says that Muhammad is an alpha male. And I said, where's this coming from? Muhammad is an alpha male. Why is that? This is a point that it's like empty and meaningless, because is that necessary to put that there? And then I see it when I open up the chat also. So I'm just curious. When I open up my chat and when I open up my Zoom meeting, it says Muhammad is an alpha male, and I don't know where that's coming from. So, and the other part of it is, in addition to what you were saying about these extra names and titles of people and persons outside of humans, we also have this name of the continent called so-called Africa. It's not really that.
Right.
It's not really that. And there were other names.
Yes.
That we had before they put that name on it. And I'll just leave it right there.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So now, Amina, you still have your hand up, or were you done? You had something?
Oh, I'm done. I don't do I
Oh,
just
okay.
go to the meme and push stop? I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm
Okay,
doing
no
right
problem.
now.
So thank you
Okay.
very much. I will turn the talking stick over to our international instructor, Benjamin Bilal. Thank you.
Salaam Alaykum to you all.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
I need to make a couple of technical adjustments here. So you need to give me about 5 minutes. Go get yourself some tea or some coffee or some water, some juice or whatever, or a sandwich or whatever if you haven't eaten. And inshallah, we will be beginning in approximately 5 minutes. And if the class happens to show up before I'm through with my presentation, then we'll happily bring on a representative from Masjid al-Bayina there in Atlanta, Georgia. We're really, really itching to see, if I can use that term, and to hear from them and be able to help witness their progress. This is all progress for all of us. This is not just their progress. This is everybody's progress who's involved in this particular journey. So give me 5 minutes, and inshallah, we will be beginning so that I can explain the topic that Bashir is so curious about. And in the meantime, before I come back to the microphone, I'm going to ask Bashir to open up his email, if he can, and read it. You wouldn't have that question if you read the actual email. So read. I'm going to ask you to read it to all of us when I come back. So go into your email and Iqra. I'll be right back, inshallah. I'm going to stop the recording until I come back. I see Nawa has a hand raised, so before I close out, let me ask her.
I was going to say, during your 5 minutes, you can go ahead. I was going to answer Bashir, and I was just going to start the class so you can start recording.
Okay. Hold on. Stand by.
And if you make a copy, then you can edit your own thing. Yeah. So just see if you could do that.
Yeah, play with that. With that.
But if I let it be a free for all, somebody can delete things, add things, all sorts of stuff, and then we're gonna lose stuff. So that's why I did that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that number.
So we have one of our class members, Abu, who's always in the class, but he's never on camera. I want to give him, if he have anything he want to say, Salaam Alaikum. Allow him to say something.
Salaam Alaikum, everybody.
Alaikum salam. And I think he's a little delayed, so we just give him an opportunity to see. Did he just come off camera? Yeah, I think it dropped his. Yeah, I see he's still there, but his connection isn't
Very
all that
sorry.
great. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. Just take it off mute.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
There, there is a normal network problem, which fortunately I lost my phone, and I'm using my daughter's phone. So I'll be getting mine, and then I'll get back to that. So second thing is that I received it because I filled that form, that Google form. I think you received that. Other mails, especially for the today's topic, I didn't receive that mail.
Understood.
And second thing, it is midnight. So sometime I'm off the camera because I'm doing other things also with my kids. Right
Yep.
now I was driving with a couple of minutes before. So I came back home now. That's why I'm on the camera.
Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate
So
that. Thank
I'm always there listening.
Yep.
He's coming in muffled, a little
I,
muffled, Abu.
please pardon.
He's
I
coming in a
didn't hear
little
you,
muffled.
Abdullah.
We can hear you, but it's still a little muffled. Your audio just a little muffled, but if it's okay with everybody else, as long as you know, I just want you to know you're a little muffled. The sound, when you speak, it's a little muffled, but we can still distinguish what you're saying, but it's muffled.
It's okay.
Maybe because
He's broadcasting from outside of the United States, so take that into consideration.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not here. He's in there.
Oh,
So
okay.
A couple of people are.
Yep. I understood most of what he said. He said that it's a lot, he's many hours ahead of us. He's spending time with his family sometimes. So it's just he's a totally different time zone, but he's always listening and he's always in class. And that's true. Abu is always here. But because I saw him on camera today, I really wanted him to be able to say anything that came to his heart and mind. So we at least acknowledge that he's here. And I always see he's there and he's always in the chat. So I got you, Abu. Whenever you put something in the chat, I'll make sure we get your message out. Thank you.
Okay. So we're ready to begin. I'm going to ask that everyone mute their phones. Let me ask first if Bashir has found the information that I asked him for in his email.
I don't know where to look exactly.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I can read it, instructor, if you want me to do
Oh,
that.
yes, if you have it in front of you, please do.
Yep. All right. So the assignment for Bashir was to read Muhammad is an alpha male. And Bashir's question before we took a intermission was, what is the point of that? Why did instructor put that in there for the lesson? So it says, we will attempt to uncover and discover a deeper meaning for the term alpha male, and it will be unlike anything you have ever heard. We
Stop there.
promise you a level
Stop
of
there. Stop there.
enlightenment.
Stop there. That's all. That's all he needs to know.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
So there's a deeper lesson that you need to learn here, and this is for all of you instructors. Don't second guess me. And please do not assume that you know what I'm going to be speaking about and on what level I'm speaking. You've been with me long enough now to know that if I put a topic up there, I'm intelligent enough and prudent enough to be able to explain it to your satisfaction. You got that, Bashir? And I know he can take it. All right. Yeah, man. NuNetics is a tough game. This is not child's play, and this is not the world's information. This is information being spoken to our human intellects by al-fitra, not by al-scholar. So do not reference other people who have spoken on these topics and think that I'm on their soul train. I'm not on their soul train. I'm on a soul plane. All right. So get off of their tracks and take the journey, which is much higher than what they've been presenting to you. You're going to enjoy this, I promise you. So we're beginning here on August the 3rd, 2025. This is a Sunday, very bright and beautiful Sunday. I've been joined by one of our fellow instructors, one of the best that we have, Waliyyuddi9n Sabir. And he gave, as you know, if you were with us, yes, Habiba said, fly at the friendly skies. Yeah, it's all friendly up here. You know, all of the storms are beneath the clouds. So all you got to do is stay up here with us on the clouds, above the clouds, and you don't have to worry about any inclement weather in terms of the language. I'm not going to say anything to disturb your soul, to disturb your emotions, and not even to disturb your mind. I'm only going to say that which will carry you further into the atmosphere and maybe up to the stratosphere. And we're not going to be one of those who Allah says will be blasted back down. And it's simply because of their disobedience that they can't rise and enjoy the ride like all of us. So don't worry about that. We're good to go. We're good to go. It's like that song says, don't need no ticket. You just get on board. All right. Yeah. People get ready. That's the name of that song. All right. So we're going to be talking about the alpha male today. Give me one moment to just pull up my notes. And thank you for your patience and your understanding. All right. So if you're brand new or somewhat new, you're not going to be familiar with how I strategize language. Whenever I speak, the language that I use is always a strategy. A strategy for what, instructor? A strategy for reaching you in the best way possible. A strategy for reaching a level of your thinking that bypasses all of the corruption that this world has put into the presentation of language. This is designed to bypass all of their mistakes, all of their intentional gobbledygook and confusing language and all of those things that they've introduced, all of their sexism and racism and all of their other isms. This is designed to bypass it, but the title is designed to capture you. So in that sense, Bashir hit it on the head. Why would I say it like this? Why would I present it like that? I present it like that because that's what I know your mind is going to gravitate towards, whether you like the title or do not like the title. You're going to be curious enough to see exactly what it is I'm trying to say. And I got you. So Muhammad as an alpha male. I didn't say Muhammad is an alpha male. I said Muhammad as an alpha male. That means that whatever I have to say about Muhammad is going to be designed around the concept of alpha male, which you still don't know what that is until I explain it to you. Don't think about what you learned in school, what you learned in the colleges, what you learned in the movies and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Burt Reynolds and whoever else they call it, alpha male, whatever. If you use their description, Tyler Perry would be an alpha male. And I don't think that's true. So don't go by their descriptions. All right. I said Muhammad as an alpha male. Now, I don't even want you to suppose that you know what I mean by Muhammad. Some of you do because you've been here long enough. Most of you do not know what I mean when I say Muhammad. The person that you are thinking about as the prophet of Allah, who lived and walked this earth approximately 1,500 years ago now, that's not who I'm talking about when I mention the term Muhammad. When I mention the name Muhammad. When I mention the title Muhammad, Muhammad is a title. It is not a proper name in the Quran. If it were a proper name, it would have a different configuration as a word. When you read in the Quran where Allah mentions a character named Muhammad, when he mentions it, he mentions him as Muhammadan and Muhammadun and Muhammadin. There's always a conditional suffix that's attached to this title, Muhammad. It makes it a noun, but it actually makes it a generic noun. In Arabic, there are words such as the one that Wali mentioned earlier, al-Islam. It has a definite article attached to it, so it's a definite thing or person or place. But when it ends with I-N, U-N, A-N, that's a different rule in the religion. It means that it's something definitive, but it's not necessarily something that is singular and unique. It's actually called generic. It's generic, meaning it can apply to many, as long as you fit the description for what Muhammad is supposed to be, you are still under the heading of Muhammad. So whatever Muhammad is, as the Quran presents him, not as these tales, these so-called hadiths and these other things that have been thrown at us for the past 1,000 years. I'm not talking about that Muhammad that they gave us through a body of literature called the hadiths, which is not the proper name even for those. Those are just the words of men. The true hadith are actually a part of Al-Quran. The true hadith are a part of the Quran. The Quran describes itself as hadith. And Allah asked the question, and in what hadith will you believe in after this? I'm giving you the hadith, and then 300 years later, you got some guys out of some country somewhere that are using the title that I put in the Quran to describe their words. How do we know that that's true, that the one they're calling Muhammad said this, but they are presenting him as a physical picture so that they can convince you that what you should be following is a physical man. Now, you might say, instructor, you're about to get into a lot of trouble. You know, that's what the majority of the Muslim scholars believe. Well, I'm telling you that I'm against what the majority of Muslim scholars believe. I don't have to believe what the majority of Muslim scholars believe, especially if they're believing incorrectly. My job is to help correct them. And if they don't like the correction, then I have to treat them like Allah treats them. He's not bent out of shape because a scholar, a sheikh, an imam, or somebody doesn't accept what the idea is of something that he's talking about. No way is Allah bent out of shape. And I'm not going to be bent out of shape. And I'm way less. I'm not even on the scale compared to what Allah is. So I'm going to be talking about the concept of alpha. We think we already know what a male is. But I would venture to say to you that you even don't know what a male truly is according to the language, according to the original meaning of that word. You see, a male in the Arabic language, this is so beautiful. That's why I'm taking my time. I'm tasting. I'm tasting how good these morsels are. The word male in the Arabic language is dhakr. dhakr. If you're going to transliterate it, I would say dhakr, something like that. Dhakr. Some people use th, dhakr, but it's the same word. That's the word that's being translated and transliterated as male. However, the word dhakr is also connected to the English word thinker. In fact, it's where the English language got the word thinker. Think and thinker. So dhakr being translated as male is actually a misnomer. If we're believing that dhakr simply means male species, male gender, that's not truly what dhakr is. And if we're thinking that an alpha male is a gender, then again, that's not truly what the word male means. Male simply means that which is delivered. You deliver mail. Oh, I got you here, instructor. It's not spelled like that. It doesn't have to be as long as it sounds the same. That's where the tricks in the language are. They'll spell something two different ways, but pronounce it the same way. It's going to be related because that's how these schemes of Shaitan operate. Remember now, we're not fighting Shaitan. He's too big for us. He'll burn us up. We're fighting the schemes of Shaitan. And Allah says his schemes are weak. So if his schemes are defeating you, if you are so inundated by Shaitan and his wily ways, it's because you are weaker than his schemes. And if you're weaker than his schemes, you're almost out of the picture when it comes to the fight that we're talking about. If you're shaking in your shoes about what Shaitan is doing, we're on the world, and they're about to start World War III if you let them have it their way, but you're shaking in your shoes about that. Instead of accepting and believing that Allah has control over all things. And you're not yet understanding that they present certain things even in the news, politically, economically, culturally. They do that on purpose to make you shake in your shoes. But you have to understand that that's a part of the scheme. And let a bomb go off here, some bullets fly there. Some people raiding a supermarket over yonder somewhere so that you think that's happening everywhere and all over the ghetto, all over the Black community, all over where all of the Mexicans are in trouble. And see, they take one incident and they make it generic. So when Allah fights the schemes of Shaitan, he fights it also on the generic level. I hope that hit you the right way. When you read the news, and you see what they're saying about certain communities of people and certain so-called races of people, and they paint them all with a broad stroke brush because they want you to believe that we're all the same. They want you to believe that all Jews are the same. Condemn the Jews should die. All of the Jews should have died under Hitler and all that. Well, all of really? All of them? Even the ones that say you're right? Those Jews too? The ones that say they don't believe in Zionism, you talking about those Jews also? The ultra-Orthodox and others that say, and the conservatives, they're so from among the conservative Jews and from among the cultural Jews who don't even practice religion. But they say that's wrong what they're doing over there in Gaza. You got people right now in the political world that say, wait a minute, now this is wrong. You're going to try to tell me there's no starvation going on in Gaza? I'm looking at the picture. So you're asking, well, who are you going to believe? Me or your lying eyes? So everything is not what it seems. This male that's being spoken of is called male because it is delivering a message. It's delivering it forward. Mail means that which is taken and delivered forward. So a mail is literally another name for messenger. A mail is literally another name for what the Quran calls Rasul. A male is called Zakr in the Quran because Zakr means what a male is responsible for doing, and that is delivering. See, it's the male who delivers the sperm. It's not the female. She's the receiver. The male is the man is the one on the most part who delivers the man. I know we can have women who are men. I'm not talking about that in the strict sense of gender. I'm talking about in terms of the actual role that we assign to the male. So he impregnates your mailbox with his letters. And his letters contain a lot of words that when you read them, they get inside of you and they start doing strange things, especially if they're bills. They just do strange things to your mind. Yeah. They get into you and they try to sell you stuff through the mail, mail order catalogs and all kinds of mail that a person might get that might, you might get some mail, you might get a check or something and you're happy, you might get a bill and you ain't so happy. But all of it is mail and it can be delivered by gender-wise. It can be delivered by masculine or feminine gender. What I'm trying to get you to do with the way I teach is to break out, bust out if you have to, of this prison they have put us in by clinically describing the knowledge that they're trying to teach us. When I say clinically, I mean they put language in a box. And they say, unless you go to that box, mail box, you get it? Unless you go to that box, we're not going to communicate with you. Allah says, it's fine. Don't communicate with my creatures. I have the fitrah, ready, willing, and able to communicate with the human mind. The fitrah, not the mailman, not the scholar, not the priest, not the preacher, not the imam. The fitrah. So alpha is simply speaking to the language construct that begins the initiation for the human mind. It begins the mind on the path of thinking. That's why alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet. That's why aleph is the same word, is the first letter in the Arabic alphabet. That's why aleph, A-L-E-P-H, is the first letter, again, in the Hebrew alphabet. Most of these languages begin with the same letter. They're just spelled different ways because the languages express them differently. So I want you to get out of your mind that I'm talking about Christopher Reeves or, the guy that used to play Superman and all. That's the alpha male, or Rock Hudson and all. You came to find out that he was gay. So what you're thinking is an alpha male is not necessarily an alpha male. Alpha is a state of mind. And man means not male. Man means mind. So if you are an alpha male, you are in fact an alpha mind, and both males and females can be alpha in that regard. All it means is that you've stepped up to the position of leadership. Let's get this linguistic party started. The Arabic word for milk, M-I-L-K, is rooted in Aramaic. That's an ancient language that helped to spawn Arabic. It came before Arabic as a written language, particularly. It may have been spoken in parts of the world, but I believe the entire language of Arabic is an offshoot of ancient Aramaic. And this word for milk is pronounced halba, Halba, halba. The Latin word for white is alba. And if you connect what we have said about the consonantal connections in language, then you know that the A on the beginning of a word can be interchanged with an H because they are consonants and not vowels. If they are on the beginning of words, if they're in between letters, then it's a vowel, it's not a consonant. But when they come at the very beginning, we say A and H as sounds can be interchanged. That's why you say hable when you're talking about somebody speaking to somebody. Hable español, but when you spell it with an H. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong in this instance. I don't think I am, but you know what I'm saying.
You are correct.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Victor. We appreciate it. Good seeing you, man. Yeah. So there are letters that are interchangeable that we do it all of the time in language, but we're not thinking about it. That's the reason why we're not getting the message. We don't think hard enough on what we have been taught. So alba in Latin can mean both white and pure. White and pure. As they say, pure as the driven snow. You've heard that phrase. Mm-hmm. So white in this context represents something uncontaminated. You see how already we've gone past the issues of race, the white man, and all of that. We've already stepped, this is just my first two lines, and we've already stepped out of the realm of physicalized concepts and racialized concepts. When you see where this is going, you're going to jump for joy, at least inside. So it represents something uncontaminated. All so-called white people have done in history is they've taken the ancient meanings for these words, black, white, and they have simply applied them to their material selves, their materialistic body, what the body looks like. And they've even gotten that wrong, because if I saw a truly white man, like an albino white, if I had to see that all over the place, like I see so-called white people, I'd be thinking that these people are from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And if I had to see black in the way that black is described in the dictionary, and I had to go to Africa even and see black people, like black, like my laptop, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, glad to see people who look like this. I'd be scared to death in many cases. If everybody looked like that called themselves African, or as I believe Abdullah, I think he's the one who said that so-called black people. I may be wrong about who said it, but he says so-called black people because they're smart enough to know now that these things are confusions in language. To call a people white, to call a people or a person black, the black man, the black race, the black people. They did that on purpose because they know that your mind is being impressed by something on a level that your conscious mind cannot catch. They know that those letters, when you combine them in the intellect, that it sends a message straight to your nervous system that says something ain't right with these frequencies. And the same thing with white. They have the word height built right into white. Height. And they have the word lack built right into the word black. So you think you're hearing black people, your subconscious mind is hearing lack people, people who are lacking. Let's continue. This is good food. In Europe, they call the centrally located mountain ranges with its snow-covered, the white snow-covered peaks, they call them the Alps. So you see in that ALP, which you know can be interchanged with F, the same concept that we're talking about when we speak about Aleph and Alpha. Aleph and Alpha. The S is just pluralizing this. It's really ALP. Mountain ranges, snow-covered, white. In modern Spanish, Italian, and Romanian, alba means dawn. So Victor could probably give us a concurrence or a nod to say that he knows that too. Many of you know several languages. You're from histories and cultures that know this. You grew up speaking many of these languages. So in these languages, alba, A-L-B-A, means dawn. And the French word for dawn is aube, which is a clear cognate of alba. These languages grow out of each other. This French word, aube, it also means beginning. We're making our case. So we have dawn as a meaning in some languages. And we also have, we know that the dawn is the beginning of a new day. The Latin word alveus meant or means cavity. Cavity. And was also used in relation to the womb. The pregnant belly also can become a cavity for birth, for giving birth, for becoming pregnant. It was also used for honeycombs. If you've ever seen the picture of a honeycomb, you know what we're talking about. And it was also used for riverbeds that would be implanted or impregnated by rivers. A cavity is formed by the absence of substance. Now, let me say this first. The one that you're calling Muhammad, there's no indication in the Quran or in the history, even the fabricated history that they give you through many of the so-called hadith. There's no indication, true indication, that the person being given the revelation of Al-Quran, the initiation of that revelation, you see, beginning, there's no indication that his name was to be pronounced Muhammad. In fact, there are some scholars who say that prior to him receiving the name Muhammad, they believe he got that name through the revelation, that before that, his name was Ahmed. Listen carefully, you budding scholars, you. They say his name was A-H-M-E-D, or A-H-M-A-D, whichever you want to pronounce it. But it was Ahmed. And he became known by the title Mu, which means that which is, or he who is Ahmed or Hamad. Mu means one who is Hamad, from the same root as Ahmed. You're looking at the H, the M, and the D. Those are the only letters you need to pay attention to. So when they say without, that alba means without in Amharic, that language, the without meaning is used to indicate the absence of something. The absence of something. Just like a cavity is the absence. If you're talking about pregnancy, it's the absence of the baby. That's when the womb becomes a cavity. It's just a cavity. It's waiting to hold something, but that something is not there yet. It's in the beginning stages. Dawn is the time immediately before the sun rises. It is a time when there is daylight, but without the sun's presence. Is Imam Adib still with us? If he is, come on the microphone for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The surah called Ash-Shams. What does Ash-Shams mean?
The sun?
Yes. Now, would you happen to know the first two ayat?
Ah, wait
If
a
not,
minute.
look. If not, look it up. Don't guess. Just look it up.
No,
I
no,
need
no.
that.
I'm getting ready. Get ready to do
Yeah.
it now.
Go ahead, my man. This is our major researcher, in case you didn't know it.
Oh,
Adib
don't.
Abdullah.
Wait a minute. Just a minute.
Take your time. Don't worry, the sun is still out.
He does a great job. So great
Yeah.
to have you.
Yeah. I'm not taking any questions right now, so please don't raise your hands. I'll take questions at the end of my presentation. Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Wasama'i that
30.
huh? 30? Okay.
I love it when you correct each other. That's a beautiful thing that you do.
Well, let me get back there. It's Shump 30.
You tell me. You got how many
Wait a minute.
students out there? Somebody should know. Is that what you're trying to say, Abdullah? See?
The 91st surah.
There you go.
What is it now?
The 91st surah.
91st, okay.
Pardon me, I had my mic open mistakenly.
It's all right. We're not obligated to memorize the entire Quran and where everything is. That wouldn't be fair for Allah to ask us, especially us newbies
It says
in the deen. Mm-hmm.
Bismillah. Okay, I see. 91, right? I'm coming.
Bayina, that's another one of our expert researchers.
Yes. Now they ain't giving it to me. Let me go back.
All right. Well, let me pass you since you're not ready.
Yes.
Is there someone else who's ready?
You said it's 91, Bain?
Mm-hmm. That should be a slam dunk right there.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, go to 91.
Yes, Surah 91.
All right.
Shams is what?
Okay, Surah 91, Ash-Shams, the sun. Bayina, are you ready to read it? Do you have it in front of you?
Yes, I have it.
Please
In
read it.
English only.
That's all I want.
Okay.
You want me to start with ayah 1?
Yes, ma'am. I want you to read 1 and 2.
Okay. Oaths of creation.
Yes.
Oaths of creation. The surah begins with a series of 11 oaths, a striking, emphatic literary device. Allah God swears by various celestial and terrestrial phenomena: the sun and its brilliance, the moon as it follows it, the day as it reveals it, the night as it conceals it, the
Stop
sky
there. Stop
and
there. Stop there. I really only wanted the first 3. I see it was in the third that I'm looking for. So read the third verse again.
the night as it conceals it,
The next one.
the sky and its creator.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to 1 again. I'm missing it. The first. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Go ahead.
The sun and its brilliance,
Okay.
the moon as it follows it,
Mm-hmm.
the day as it reveals it.
Okay. Stop there. So Allah speaks about the sun. He speaks about the moon, and then he speaks about the day. Now, what makes the day different than the sun? I thought when the sun comes up, it's called day. I thought that is the day.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? So Allah is making it very clear to us that daylight and sunlight are two different things. How beautiful is that? How many people even knew that? Yeah.
Salaam Alaykum. Are
Alaikum
we
salam.
doing one? What did you want? 1 to 5 or 1 to 2?
No, sir, I'm finished with what I want. She's got it.
Okay.
She's locked it in already. I appreciate that though.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
So the Shams is speaking about the sun, the main purveyor of the light that we're using in order to see. But the day, in fact, Adib, I'm going to challenge you again, since you have the surah in front of you, to tell me what word Allah is using in Arabic for day.
I got to go back.
Okay. This is what classes do.
What Shamsi, what Duhaha, wal Qamari idha talaha, wan hari idha jallaha, wal layli idha yagshaha.
Okay, stop there. Okay, so I'm giving you a wrong reference. The word I'm looking for is the word that is giving us the translation brilliance. It comes after Allah mentions the sun.
Okay.
Washamsu?
By the sun and its brightness, by
Okay,
the moon.
what word are they using? What word are they using for brightness? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay, okay, wait a minute.
Duha.
What Duhaha?
Okay, stop there. Everybody who spoke is correct. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So duha, we know that word. We know that word from
dawn.
No, well, they translate it. They don't translate it as dawn. They just translate it as something that is giving off a brilliance or giving off a brightness. So in other words, let's make this simple. Let's make this simple. Everybody can close their mics now.
Instructor Waliyyuddi9n, before you say anything else, is he speaking about intellectual brilliance?
We'll discuss that.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's speaking about different levels of brilliance. Literal, figurative, varying levels of brilliance. And he's speaking about different kinds of suns. SUN. He's not just speaking about the one that we witness above in the sky. He's also speaking about leadership because the sun is the leader of the galaxy. So when you see Allah speaking about Ash-Shams, don't automatically assume that the only thing he's talking about is the SUN. Because that's knowledge that you could have gotten on your own. And many people did. Many people of old studied the sun and what it did every day and how it challenged the growth and the crops and all of that. So people knew that. Allah says that he revealed that which before was not known. That's what Allah says in the Quran, that he revealed that which before was not known. We were not knowing it. Anybody know where that ayat is that I'm referring to?
Surah 96.
Yes, sir. Can you give us that translation, please?
Who is
that reading? Who's reading?
Adib.
Okay, I didn't ask you. I was asking, I think it was William who gave us that, right?
Can I read it, instructor?
Let's see what William comes up with. If he passes the baton, then you read.
I'll pass it.
Okay. Nawa, go right ahead.
That's Surah Al-Alaq, right?
That's correct.
Yep. Oh man, me and my husband just studied this a few days ago. Read, O Prophet, in the name of your Lord who created. created humans from a clinging clot. Read, and your Lord is most gracious, who taught by the pen, taught humanity what they knew not.
There you go. And the more effective and correct translation is that not only that he taught humanity what they knew not, taught humanity that which they before this did not know. See, ma'lem means ma means not in a definitive sense. And it means that you could not have been able to do this before Allah taught it to you. So whatever that is talking about, they say reading, but it's talking about something much more significant, which we won't get into today. The point is that whatever this is, this whole Quran, whatever it is expressing to us, it is knowledge that before this was not known. And you could not have known it unless Allah revealed it, is the most important part of what's being said here. You have knowledge that you had since time immemorial. You've had observations of things in creation, and you categorized and cataloged the information and all of that. The ancient Egyptians did it. The ancient Sumerians did it. And many ancient people have categorized language and have developed a language, even scientifically, before the Quran got here. But what the Quran brings as an additional gift is the idea of introducing the human brain to information that before it could not have known, it could not have come into. That's how we're able to trace what the Quran actually influenced as language on this planet, because it follows a pattern of unveiling levels of information that were not in the world prior to the revelation of the Quran. It's not that science wasn't in the world, it was, but the level of metaphysical science, the level of deep insight into the meticulous points in science, the atomic, that kind of thing. That wasn't here. The Quran is giving you insight into that, and it's not doing it just by presenting the sun as a picture. It's using the sun, so you will study what the sun does. You will study the sun as a behavior. That's the most important point. What is in the Quran is meant for you to study as behavior. And that behavior can be in you, the individual. You can be a sun. That behavior can be in the social order, where the leader is the sun, the king. That's why the king wears the crown with the rays coming out of it. So you got to be looking at these things. Or it can be referring to a particular ethnic group that have taken control and that now are wielding the power in that society. And what Allah is about to say about Ash-Shams applies to all of the above. So there's the sun that provides the direct light, and then there is the sun that provides the peripheral light. Two different levels of light. The direct light, it's like you, in the way Allah created you, you have direct vision. You can see what's clearly in front of you, and you can describe those things that are clearly in front of you. But then Allah also gave you peripheral vision. You're not seeing it directly, and you probably can't describe it exactly because you're not looking directly at it, but it's peripheral. It's the duha level of the vision. And that's why we say whatever you give your attention to expands. Whatever's in front of you, that's what you're looking at. You can name the meticulous details of that. When they ask for the police report, well, who did this to you? He was right in front of me. I know what he looks like. I name his color. I name, what his eyes look. I name the color of his eyes. It was Smokey Robinson. It was some blue-eyed, gray-eyed black man, whatever your description is. Because he's right in front of you, but you can't do that if he's to the periphery. So when the sun is not prevalent in the sky, as on an overcast or rainy day, cloudy day, it's not that you can't see at all. You still see. You can still look, you can use the light of the sun. It's not the sun direct, but you're using the peripheral light of the sun to be able to see, was my point. I just wanted to do that to show you how deep the science related to this Quranic language can take you. So dawn is the time immediately before the sun rises. You can't see the sun at dawn time, but you see its light. That's what we're talking about. It is a time when there is daylight, but without the sun's presence. Listen carefully. It is a time when there is daylight, but without the sun's presence. The sun is still below the horizon. The a privative is also being used, and you should know by now that the a privative on the beginning of a word deprives the word of its meaning. To deprive means to be without. So I want you to see how these concepts are related. No sun, the sky is still being deprived of the sun per se. In modern Egyptian Arabic, qabla means before, and appears to be related to the idea of dawn, which appears prior to daylight. So you see that? In so much as that light, that dawning light, that duha light appears before the light of the actual shams. Because it appears before, it's given the idea of that which appears prior to the actual body that is producing the prevalent light. The Phoenician and Greek letter alpha was a reference to an initial state. Listen carefully. A reference to an initial state or condition representing a time of purity, rather than being a reference, as they would say in the world of scholarship, it's a reference to cattle. That's what the Hebrews tell people, that Aleph, 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 as they call it, that's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, but they say it means cattle. They say it means livestock. When in fact, it's a reference, as I said, to an initial state or condition that is representing a time of purity. Anything that comes here from its beginnings comes here pure, including the human baby, including the puppy and the kitten, including the baby calf. All of these things come here pure. So we're talking alpha still. We're talking Aleph, Alif, the Alps with its snow-covered mountain tops. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper. When writing the alphabet, we begin with a clean slate. It's called tabula rasa, a clean slate. The teacher will say, go to the board, please give me a clean board, right? Erase the board so that there's nothing on there. It's empty. It's ready for writing. It's ready to introduce information, but it's like the baby's mind. It's totally erased. Every human being comes here with a tabula rasa mind. As far as its consciousness is concerned, they can't tell you anything about what they have consciously learned because they just got here. So in that sense, it is the parent of the other letters of the alphabet. All of the other alphabet came after Aleph or after Alpha, that letter. the B, the C, the D, whatever else you have in your alphabet, it came after A or Aleph or Alpha. So Alpha is the theoretical parent of the entire language or letter systems. In English, the word aloof means alone and detached. Alone and detached. And if you know anything about the Arabic letter Aleph, you know that you can attach it. You can draw it by itself, looking like that spine someone spoke on earlier. But you can add another letter to one of its sides to increase the number of letters in a word. I think you can connect it from its right side, if I'm not mistaken. In the word Allah, the Aleph stands alone. You can't attach it from its left side, your perspective left.
Salaam Alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
If I can, the Aleph is one of the non-connectables. Is Alif, Del, Zel, Ra, and Zain. They're non-connect, and Wow. They're non-connectables, and they connect to the right and never to the left.
Yeah, so you're saying two different things there. You said
Well,
they connect to the right, but never to the left.
yes.
So they do connect on one side, which is what I
Yes,
said.
yes, sir. They connect on one
Okay.
side.
All right. You said they never connect. So I'm just trying to make sure you get that correct in the way you explain it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
No
Connect to the
problem.
right side.
Yes.
Only.
I was looking from my perspective when I said left, right. So you guys figure that out.
Okay, sir.
Like I said, just look at the word. No. Just look at the word Allah, and you'll see that the Aleph is written aloof from the others. Aleph.
Yes, sir.
Aloof. Okay.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, no. That's a good addition right there. I like that. Okay. Raise your hand next time so I can recognize you, so I'll know that you're wanting to say something.
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right. And only do it, people, to just make corrections like Adib just did, not to add something new to the conversation. All right, I'm trying to stay very, very focused right now. So the word aluf, A-L-U-F, means champion. A champion as in a foot race. And it is a military rank in the Bible. So this is the Hebrew language we're talking about now. It is a military rank in the Bible and refers to the leader of 1,000 soldiers. So when Allah refers to the night of power as being better than 1,000 months, does anyone know the ayah in Arabic that's speaking to that? All right, so while I'm talking, someone go to the surah that speaks on the night of power, the Al-Qadr, and look for that ayat. And only do that if you can actually read the Arabic so we can hear what you're saying. Do that while I'm continuing to talk. So again, in the Hebrew language, the word aluf, A-L-U-F, or P-H, whichever you prefer, is referring to a military rank of foot soldiers. And it's referring to the leader of 1,000 soldiers. You see in these ancient languages, even including Arabic, these, I love this. Yeah. Okay, Sean, please speak on it because I figured you would know.
Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It said إنا أنزلناها في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر.
Stop there. Okay, now translate all three of those ayat.
It said, indeed, we sent Speaking of the Quran, indeed we sent it down during the night of decree or night of power. And what can we make you know what is the night of power or decree? Or the night of decree power is better than 1,000 months.
Okay,
Alfi,
stop there. There you go. Give me that.
yeah.
Give me
Laylatul
the words for 1,000 months again.
Alfi Shahr or
So there's
Alfi
your
Shahr.
aleph. There's your
Yeah.
alfi. There's your aleph. Got
And
it? Yeah, I know you
Alfi
got it. Yeah.
Al.
But see, so in Arabic, alfi is still 1,000. But for the ancient Arab mind, it didn't mean literally 1,000, like 999, and then add another one and it becomes 1,000. No, 1,000 was conceptually the idea of innumerable. They could only count up to so many letters or so many numbers, pardon me. And that last number, whatever it is, was called aleph or alephi in this case. There's another place where these consonantal letters are used when Allah is speaking about the Quraysh. Does anyone know the first line of the Quraysh? That's surah.
Correct.
And now give me the second ayat.
Li ilafi Quraysh.
That's correct. Right. Give me the second ayat.
إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف.
Very good. Ilafi. You see that? Li ilafi. Aleph. Quraysh. Allah repeats it because he's teaching you. He only repeats because he wants to teach you the important words or concepts in the ayat that he's revealing. So he says, he does the same thing in Iqra. He repeats it because he wants you to get it. So ilafihim rihlata shita'i wasayf. He repeats it. But how are they translating that? Give me a working translation, English translation of those couple of ayat in the Quran.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
At least for the favor of making Quraysh habitually secure in their trading caravan to Yemen in the winter and Syria in the summer.
Okay, stop there. Now, obviously, they're adding a lot of stuff that's not there. It says nothing about Syria and Lebanon, Harlem. That's not how the Quran goes. It doesn't mention places in order to give preferential treatment to cultures and different civilizations. And even when it mentions Egypt, it's not talking about the Egypt that you know of overseas. No, it's talking conceptually. So when it mentions Aleph here, لإلاف قريش لإلاف قريش. Nowhere else in the Quran does Allah begin a surah with li. Li. Li is a preposition. It's preparing you for, it's making a connection between something that was said just prior to that. Allah says, Alhamdulillah, Allah, Alhamdulillah. He doesn't just start by saying li Allah. You don't know what he's talking. What's it connected to? So that in and of itself should tell you that you should be including what's said in the surah just before it. You see how Allah points your mind to something that came first? He's teaching you using this divine method. Say, wait a minute. Li is not the beginning of a sentence. And I've already told you that Aleph, Alpha, all of these words mean that which came before something, that which came first. Got it. I hope y'all are getting it. I know Abdullah got it. I see you shaking your head. All right. So that's what this is dealing with. All right. It refers to the leader of 1,000 soldiers as a Hebrew word. But here and in the Qadr, the Night of Power surah, You read that it was 1,000 months, but it's not talking about a literal number 1,000. It's talking about innumerable. If you see 1,000 soldiers coming at you with their rifles drawn, it might as well be 1,000,000 soldiers. You don't care that it's 1,000. I can't beat these troops. They're too overwhelming, too overpowering. So it was also a reference to foot soldiers who were in a race. And the leader of the race finishes before the other contestants and is therefore considered first, foremost, and distinguished. He's not like the rest. The Amir is not like the Mirs. They took that word out of circulation, even out of Arabic circulation. That's a word, Mir. And when you put the A, what do you call it? The A privative. When you put that on, then it becomes Amir, the leader of the Mirs. All right. I can feel your brain from here. Working. It's working. It's employed. It don't even want a day off. It's turning now. Churning. All right. So in the military sense, the alpha is the one leading the troops. That's where the phrase alpha male came from. He's the one that they would choose to put in the front of the battle. If that's the case, every so-called black person who fought in a war in this country was an alpha male because they put all of us in the front line. They put all of us on the front line. If somebody gonna die, let it be those Negroes, and then we'll come in after it and clean up and take the land and tell the people what to do. But we need some people to die out front. They gotta be full of bravado, that take them alphas and put them out there. And therefore the concept of alpha became screwed up. It became not the true concept. Alpha just means the one who was brilliant enough to come up with the strategy for establishing something. Do you know that every one of these NuNetics students are alpha students? Because you're the first to do this. I'm going to allow for questions, but let me get through this. It's not that much longer. Hold your thought or write it down, and I'll be happy to entertain it. Give me one moment. In fact, that was the end. How about that? Yeah, feel free to open up with questions.
Yes.
No problem. Go right ahead, Abdul.
Oh, okay. I raised my hand, but who raised their hand? But okay,
It's okay. Bashir did, but he'll speak right after you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how does NUR, N-U-R, compare to Shams? And also, can you just speak briefly of you on Son of Sam or Son of Man, or you just leave that for another day?
You said Son of Sam?
Son of Sam or Son of Man?
And Son of Man? Okay, I'll try and get through that. Okay. But you asked about Nur first. Very good question. Excellent question. That's a scholar question. I don't know if you know that. That's a question that a scholar would have to know something about in order to make it, because they translate the Nur as light, as you know. So people say, well, what's the difference between Duha or between Shams and its light, Duha and its peripheral light, and Nur, which they say is night, is light. Here's the difference. And it's the difference that only a farmer would know. See, the Quran is teaching on two different levels. It's teaching on the level of agriculture. I've told you this many times. I don't even think you were in the class when I was teaching that. It's teaching on the level of agriculture, of ikra culture. You get it? That's why I say ikra means to collect or to gather, because that's what the farmers were doing with the harvesting of the plants and the fruits and all of that. Ikra does not mean read, like pick up a book and start going through the letters and the words and all of that. is talking about that secondarily, not as a first thought. So that's dealing with the harvest of the products of the soil. When you think about soil, I want you to think about a word in English that is very close to that. Can you guess what it is, Abdullah?
Soul or sun?
Yeah,
Soul.
soul. Yeah, soul. That's right.
Oh.
Soul. Soul and soil. Because the soil
And
is,
also Solo, SOLE.
yeah,
Pardon me.
S-O-L-E.
I just want to mention it's also
That's okay.
SOLE
And the
alone.
Latin
Okay.
soul, which means sun, right? So you see how it's coming together, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah. And soul means by itself, which is a concept that we dealt with just now in speaking about alpha being the first. If you're the first, you're by yourself until number two comes along, right? All right. So nur is what we're talking about, which is an often mentioned word in the Quran. Light upon light, Allah says in one place. Nur, ala nur. Now, listen to this carefully. And no one else speak because I need for you to raise your hand or else it's not going to be fair because Bashir had his hand raised for a while now. All right. Now, a farmer knows that when the soil begins to dry out, that he or she has to go and stir the soil. Okay. You know that certain ones among you know that because you do farming, beginning with William and many others who do farming. You grow things, and you know that if the soil begins to take on a dry look, that you have to be able to activate the moisture in the soil in order for it to produce your product. So you stir the soil. Now, every time I say soil, I want you to think about soul. Because this is how human beings grow. Forget the tomatoes and the potatoes. This is how humans grow, by stirring the soul. It's so beautiful when you understand it. It's wonderful. All right. So when you stir that soil, after it has become kind of dried out, there's still some moisture there, but you're trying to resurrect that moisture, put it in its proper application and all that. When you start to stir that soil, what will happen is that you'll see the soil begin to glisten. It'll have what's called a sheen. It'll look like little diamonds sometimes in the soil. Go to Google pictures or whatever, images, and look for soil that's, has moisture content. So the light that Nur is speaking of is not the light from the sun. The light that Nur is speaking of is the light that happens every time you choose to stir the ideas and the potential that Allah has placed in the soul itself. Meaning you have to have moral questions about things. You see how this ties in? Moral being, a symbol for that is water. When you start to stir the soul and answer some of those questions, you remember like Jesus had in the Quran? Allah, it's not that I don't have faith, but will you tell me how this resurrection thing goes again? How are you going to raise these dead heads back to a living perpendicular, like we used to say in the nation? How are you going to do this, Allah? I'm not bucking you. I ain't saying you can't do it. My intellect, my soul needs to know how. It needs to know the process that you're going to employ to bring these people back to life. That's stirring the soil. That's Nur. That is what Nur is speaking to. The reflected light, as opposed to the directed light. The sun has directed light. The soul has reflected light. Isn't that great? So I hope that answered your question without me going into a lot of the particulars.
Okay, but the moon has reflected light too, right?
The
Come
moon
on.
has a reflected light because it's reflecting. That's right. In fact, in the Quran, the way that Nur is the way that the moon is described, Abdullah, is in relation to the reflected aspects of light. Yeah, that's exactly. If you read the surah on the Al-Qamar, the moon, it's going to tell you that the moon is providing reflected light, is providing nur. If it's about the shams, it gives another word for its light. But the moon, it says that the sun is a lamp shining light. That's the shams, that's the sun. But it says, and the moon, and it speaks of the moon as having nur. Because the light that the moon is shining is not its own. It's reflecting the light of the sun. It's reflected light. Its light is not its own. Now, take that out of that scientific circle of information and put it in the human circle of information by connecting nur, as I've told you this many times, to the word nerve. Your nerves. That's where they got the word nur. They call this the neural system, the neural, Neural, the neural system.
The neurological system.
Neurology. That's right. The study of the nerves, but because the nerves are the light for the body that keeps it stirred, that keeps it activated. That's a beautiful question you asked. I'm happy to provide the answer. Yeah. All right. So yeah, all of these impulses and things that you spoke about are reflected light from the activity taking place in your nervous system. I told you over and over again. Also, and Bashir, you can go right after this. I told you over and over again that every piece of information that hits the human intellect when a child is born, the first stop on that train is your spine, because your spinal column is where your nervous system is, the peripheral. You have two. The peripheral nervous system, it's lined up alongside the actual bony structure of the spine. It's a cord. It's like a string is a cord. Right? It's a cord that as soon as information impacts that spinal cord, you react. Oh, what happened? Who touched me? What happened? Where am I? Right? But why are you reacting like that? Because you are reflecting on what just happened to you. It's always a reflection of something. Loud noise. Whoa, what is the king? They turn that music down. It's always a reaction to something because it's nur. It's hitting your nerves. Yeah, you see, you get on my nerves. You wouldn't say that to somebody who wasn't, bothering you. All right. So that's what that is. Okay, Bashir, please present your question.
Okay, so my birds are inspired.
Yes.
So
is Ibrahim's.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the inference of the dawn and the sensation of the dawn, the sensation and the ideation you speak of, the ideation of the dawn.
Beautiful word.
That's what I got out of this, because
that's what's in it.
I was looking at
you got it out of that because that's what Allah put in it.
The ideation and the sensation of the dawn, the coming of the light.
Yeah, look at what happens at the coming of the dawn. Look at what happens at the beginning of the day, of dawn. First of all, dawn is consonantally connected to what Quranic word?
The dawn, the day.
Dunya?
Dunya.
Dean.
Dunya.
Ah, thank
Dean.
you. Thank you, Celia.
Another word.
Hold on. Thank you,
Dean and
Celia.
Dunya are connected. Sorry.
Yes, Dina and Dunya are connected, but Dunya has an extra yeah that we're not dealing with right now. I just want the D sound and the N sound. And it's only to be found in Dina. What we've been speaking about almost all night, right? Beginning with Wali's presentation. So when you think about Dean, remember now, if it's consonantally connected, it's going to have a relationship. I don't care if it's to the second cousin of your uncle named Pookie. If you got some of Pookie's DNA running through you see that DNA? If you got to, because your DNA is a reflection of knowledge from a million years ago. That's how you know how to open your eyes because of what's in your DNA. That's how you know how to swallow. You inherited all that information. It's a reflected light in you. It's recorded and it's reflected, and you keep doing the same things over and over again for thousands and thousands of years because Allah clocked that into your DNA, which is just a reflection of knowledge that was in existence for billions of years, however long the creation has been here. Yeah. You got it? All right. So the deen then should follow the same basic pattern. That's what al-fitra is. It's pattern recognition. PTR in pattern is FTR in fitra. So the fitra is the fitra because it's following a predictable pattern of behavior. Important word. I spoke on that when I was talking about the habits. I didn't conclude that, but I will, inshallah, next week to show you how habit and the things that produce habits are recurring. But what we're talking about immediately is that deen and dawn are related. So look for the circumstances that bring about the dawn, and you'll also find hints and clues towards what the deen actually is. When we say deen al-Islam, that means you're supposed to be providing some light, buddy. You're supposed to be providing some nutrients to the soul, to the soil. Deen is also related to down. What's down? Before man's industry hit it, the soil was there, not the concrete that we're seeing now. That's an issue for technology, not nature, the natural world. The natural world, when you look down, you saw the soil. So deen, down, dunya, which is the material world that's down beneath your feet on the most part. You're walking on the earth. When you plant a seed, you don't plant it on a cloud. You don't plant it on another planet. You plant it into the ground, into the soil, and then you cover that soil up and you give it everything that it needs in order to produce life. That's how you treat the soul. It needs water, which is what? Moral guidance. It needs sunlight, which is what? Rational guidance. It needs air, which is what? Spiritual guidance. We're talking about the making of a human soul right now. It needs spiritual guidance. It needs influences in and around it that you can't see with your physical eyes, but they move you like the wind does, like the air does. And of course, you need the solid earth. Those are the four elements that we've been speaking about for most of the evening now, right? It needs the ground, or it needs the matter. We say, what's the matter with you? Whenever you see somebody doing something off, what's wrong? You're saying, what is wrong with your matter? What's wrong with your base? Allah asked Iblis, he said, Malaka. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? What's they translated? What's the matter with you? Allah asked that, what's the matter with you that you did not bow down when I commanded you, Allah says, to bow down? You know what Iblis's answer was? I'm better than he. That's right. And a khayrun minhu. I am higher. I'm more utilitarian. I'm more beneficial than he said than him, minhu, but what he really meant was than this, than this guy. He could have said than Adam. He could have gave him his proper respect, but he said, I'm better than this guy. But Allah asked him, ma laka, M-A, ma, L-A-K-A, combination of words. Laka, it means that ma is another word that sounds like the same word for no in Arabic. When you say ma, you mean no, no. It's a lighter form of la. When you say la ilaha, no, 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 no God but Allah. Well, that's how they translate it, right? But malaka means what? Ma means what? Now, can I give you a quick lesson in this and we'll be through? Ma is really just the letter M with a fatha. It's really just the letter meme. So what is meme again? Anybody? In terms of the elements?
Water.
Water.
And what is moral? Well, I gave it to you. What is water on the metaphorical level?
Moral.
Morals. So right out the gate, look at what Allah is saying to Iblis. That's only reaching Iblis's intellect. He's saying, I'm going to ask you a question that's going to challenge your sense of what is moral. I told you to bow down. Ma laka. But there's a question in there that supersedes even what are you doing here? Laka means what is that with you? See, ma means with also. It means no, but it also means what? What? Water. You get it? The word water came from the word what? How did the word water, W-A-T-E-R, come from the word W-H-A-T? What? Because what is a question? Listen to me carefully, you graduating students, you. What is a question? Water is an element. Yes. What came first? The element came first. Yes. And then the human mind had a question about the element. So Allah is bringing him back full circle to where he should be as a thinker in the world. Wow. When he says, what is the matter with you? But he's not saying what is the matter with you, although he isn't. You know, matter is material. So we're still pointing him back, trying to point him back to his base. He's saying, what is with you? You know how we say, what's up with you? That's how we say it. What's up with you? What you dealing with, man? Why are you acting like that? Acting, you know us. Right? So that's what Allah was asking him. What's the matter with him? When he said, what's the matter? Where is this matter he's speaking about? The matter that you stand upon. That's matter beneath your feet, pardon me. That's matter beneath your feet. So when you say, what is the matter with someone, you're sending them back to their origins. You're sending them back to the first question they should have asked before asking that dumb question, or before making that dumb question. So malaka, you know what lam is as a letter, right? What is a lam as an environmental thing? We're not talking about the tongue now. That's a body part. In the environmental
How about
circle of
language?
information.
Language.
Communication. Knowledge.
Hold on.
Language.
Slow down.
Communication.
Abdul, say it again.
Language.
Communication.
I can't hear.
I said language.
No, I want something
Environmental. It's knowledge.
environmental. Say it again now.
To educate. or
A structure.
That pointing stick that Musa used.
Thank you, sir.
A staff. Structure.
Thank you. A staff, yeah, a staff to help you walk. Yeah, that's what that is. Lam. And what is ka?
So
what is ka? Yeah, it's a body part. Who said hand?
Now,
There you go. So put them together. What is the stick in the hand, the staff in the hand? That's laka. What is that stick in your hand? That's exactly what Allah asked Musa, isn't it?
Okay.
But that's another level of knowledge, right?
Right. Knowledge.
Allah asked Musa, what is that in your right hand, Musa? He qualified it, in your right hand. But with Iblis, he said malaka, but he's saying the same thing if you understand the inferences in the words. Right, Abdul Salam? Looking very poignant. Yeah, that's what he's asking him, the same thing. What is your hand? What is your hand?
What is your knowledge? Yeah. What is your guidance?
senses.
They're your five senses. So Allah is asking him, what is that operating in your five senses? Didn't you hear what I said? I said, make sajda in his direction, not to me. Direct. Remember, direct light, indirect light. So who are you to buck me? When he didn't say I told you. He didn't say I whispered it to you. He said, when I commanded you to bow down. I hope y'all are getting this. This is deep.
Yes.
Right? This is deep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's deep. All right. Let me invite Amina into the conversation so I can wrap this part of it up because I have a couple of more words to say about that concept.
Quickly, it's more of an observation with the water. When you were saying, speaking about the math, and I thought about influence, how water stays silent or it doesn't move until you influence it. You can touch the water and it moves. So I thought about the emotionality, that we have. Our emotionality can be influenced, and that's like the water, the still water can be influenced to go in any direction.
That's right. Water is directional. Water is directional, but there's an invisible property that's responsible for pushing water into a direction. See, if there's no activity in the water, then it'll do what a still bowl of water does. It will just be kind of dormant and just lay there and be still until you touch it. Then it'll ripple, like your nervous system that we were talking about. The nervous system is cool, no problem, until you touch me the wrong way. Then my nerves, you're on my nerves now. All right? So that repercussion in the nervous system, all of that is related to what we're saying about the behavior of water. We're talking about behaviors. This is what they study in top level psychology, the behavioral nature. I'm giving you something probably above and beyond what the psychiatrists and the psychologists will give you in terms of the understanding of behavior, because they're basing theirs on Freud and Jung and the other one and this other third one, and they're basing theirs on what they've been able to pull from their study of how to manipulate human behavior. I'm not trying to manipulate human behavior. I'm trying to explain it based on the fitra, how things act and react in the fitra. So Allah is making an adjustment on the personality of Iblis, because Iblis has the consonants, what again? There are three of them. Give them to me quick.
BLS.
Yeah, BLS, Bait, Lam, Sin. If you exchange the B for the P in English, then what three do you have?
PLS.
PLS.
Those
Pulse. Pulse and impulsive. And repulsive. And compulsive. All of that is Iblis. That's his behavior. Allah said one thing, and Iblis, in his compulsive way of reacting, I ain't gonna do that. You didn't make me like that. I'm fire, man. He's talking to Allah. I'm fire, man. You know, I'm not gonna bow down to him. He's just dirt. He's just earth. He's just clay. I take him and I shape him the way I want to shape him, and I put him back out there, let some air blow over him. He gets hard like that, and I create a hardened criminal. Then I send him to prison so he can bust those same clay bricks. I make fun of him. You can't put him over me. I'm the light. Remember when Musa was trying to climb up there? He said to his main man Haman, he said, build me a ladder so that I can go up to the heavens, to the skies, and take a peek at this God that Moses keeps yapping about. He said, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know any God but moi, but me. Isn't that what he said? That's deep. But if he was so heavy, if he was so talented, if he was so knowledgeable, how come he didn't build his own damn ladder?
Thank you.
Why you got to tell Haman? That means Haman's knowledge was greater than his. But he didn't want you to know that. And that's how this world is. The president said, the president has declared. Well, who's telling the president what to say? See, that's how you got to think in this day and time. He's not the top man. You understand? Yeah. He's getting his dictates from somewhere else. That's where Allah said, when I commanded you, Allah knew what he was saying. You're getting your commands from a secondary source that you don't want anybody to see. Yeah, you don't want nobody to see the real source that's speaking. He wants you to think it's him. If it's him, why did Fir'aun, when he became distressed over Musa's progress, why did he start asking his people, what do they think? He wasn't asking them that before. He would just do something. Now, all of a sudden, he calls a council. Well, tell me what you think. Okay, well, now you tell me what you think, because he didn't know what to think, because he wasn't his own man. Those weren't his ideas. He was coming from a level of compulsion and impulsion and repulsion. People were being repulsed by him by that time. So he wanted to know, well, who do I blame this on? I'm not going to tell him I came up with this. This was your idea. You know how they do in those big meetings. So I hope you're gonna listen back to this replay and really take notes and look stuff up. If you do, you will become some of the most brilliant people walking planet Earth. Yes. Malaka. What is that in your hand, Musa? In your right hand in that case. And then with Iblis, what's up with you? What's the matter with you? In other words, what are you setting your walking stick upon? You're setting your walking stick upon the matter. So what's the matter with you? Why have you become so concrete? In other words, we say, what is your basis for believing that? Don't we say that? Yes. Well, where's the basis? It's the matter that you're standing on. That's your base. What's the basis for your argument, Iblis? In that one statement, Allah gave him all those questions. And he was dumb enough to say, you created me from nar, not nur, nar. From something that can disintegrate things. They break it down into its smallest. I'm science. That's what he was saying. I'm science. He'll send a piece of clay to talk to me. Don't you know I'm Einstein? I'm all of these people. Yes, William, come in, please. We're about to wrap up.
Yeah, something happened to me this morning that was so perfect. I just want to share.
Please.
Yeah. I got up about 4 o'clock this morning, couldn't go back to sleep. And just at dawn, before the sun came up, there was a little bitty, it was raining outside, but there was a little bitty bird right outside my window, and that bird started chirping.
Mm-hmm.
I said, there must be something in the frequency of the dawn.
Yes.
Because it was raining outside, but this little bitty bird, and it's the little bird, that makes the most noise I found.
Yeah.
That little bitty bird was chirping, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so perfect for what you're talking about, because
it is.
Yes, because the frequency in the dawn itself,
It
before the sun
fits.
comes up, it fits
It fits right in line with what Allah says about that time of day. That it is best suited for the framing of the word. Your best ideas, you should train yourself to get up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5, before the sun begins to rise. You should train yourself, even if you get up for an hour and just have a notebook and start writing, or start reading the Quran or some other literature. That's the best time, because the world has not encroached upon you yet. The world has not began to steal your time, your thoughts. You're not worrying about the bills necessarily. You're just waking up. And when you're there 2 times of day, listen now, because this is on the subject of the Salat, which I have a brand new 4th book coming out on. There are 2 times of day that are most suited for the Salat. One of them is the time I'm telling you about right now. The other one is the time when the darkness is beginning to encroach. When in fact, I won't even relate it to the light, the sun. I'm going to relate it to how you feel. The first one is before you have become fully awakened in the world. Because that's when what you're listening to is reaching your subconscious before it reaches your conscious. And it's your subconscious mind that begins to shape you for what it is supposed to be doing in the world as a memory, as a genetic memory, eventually. Something that's actually influencing your very DNA is what you do repetitively over and over again. That has the strongest influence on your life, the things that you do subconsciously. The beliefs that you hold subconsciously. You can be believing that you're on top of the world. You're going to be rich one day. You're going to be, that's in your conscious mind, but in your subconscious mind, you say, I'm never going to get from under this, this oppression, this financial oppression. I can't, I'm running from the bill collectors. That's your subconscious mind. You know why? Because that's what you do most of the time, most of the day. And whatever you do, the majority of time becomes your real mind. No matter what you're saying over and above that as a conscious thought. The conscious mind is just there to negotiate. The conscious mind is just there to manipulate and maneuver. It doesn't have to believe anything it says. That's why Allah says that I'm going to grab him by the forelocks.
Sinful for you.
A lying, sinful forelock. You can only lie and sin in your conscious mind. The one that Allah has let be free to make choices. That's the conscious mind, the con with choice, just choose, conscious mind. You understand? A lot more to discuss, but we're not going to do it today. Okay, now while you had a question, and then I think someone else whose name I can't see.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. A question, kind of an observation, going back to Surah Al-Alaq. It's funny in the chats now, everybody has something to say about Surah Al-Alaq. So it's really good comments in there. But I was reviewing it with my husband. We were connecting it to Genesis and the creation, and we were in Genesis 2. And we were trying to understand if Genesis was talking about Adam as an actual physical being. And then I brought up Surah Al-Alaq for him. for my husband and read what we read earlier today, and it made me think about what you were saying, that Allah explicitly states in here, He teaches humanity what we did not know. And it just made me think about that connection because it says read. And my husband actually helped me to do this exercise because I give him NuNetics lessons. I let it happen naturally. I don't force it.
Great,
I told
great.
them to read. The term that they were translating as read is ikra, and ikra is connected to qara'a, and it's an agricultural term, which means to collect. So he said, if you don't think it's disrespectful, let's change the read and let's put in the word gather or collect. And it definitely did read differently, no pun
Wow.
intended. So he said, gather in the name of your Lord who created. That sounds different, read already. Created humans from a clinging substance. Then it says, gather, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, which I found amazing. And it's like that pen, and I was explaining to him that pen means five senses, or we
That's
can
right.
think about pen as your five
That's where they get the
senses.
word pensive.
Good point. Good
That's where they
point.
get the word
And,
pensive. Yeah, thoughtful.
yeah, pensive,
Continue.
yes, correct. And then I told him all the other words that we think of in English with the term pen. And I don't know the Arabic. Somebody will probably tell me. I assume it has roots with the word qalam in it because that's what we translate as pen. So maybe someone can help me with that a little bit. But I told them about that and then taught humanity what they knew not. But what I think was, and in that section, what they knew not, two surahs before that, we're talking about the clinging substance. Humanity did not know about how babies are created. We just know if we have intercourse, a few months later, a baby comes, but we didn't understand about the embryo. And that in the verb in the scripture itself is telling us something that we did not know.
Spot on. That's
Also, we
right.
didn't know when it comes to the pen about the pineal gland. So we don't know
That's
that
right.
today anymore because we're not connected, but the humans of that time did know.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
how it's been translated, it kind of take that away. But we are learning from Allah through, yes, our five senses, but all of that is also being, the more we tap into it, our pineal gland, that expansion comes from there. And
Absolutely.
lastly, what's really was fascinating to me is that it says 96.6, most certainly, one exceeds all bounds once they think they are self-sufficient, but surely to your Lord is the return. I just thought that was so powerful because Allah expresses too much. He's letting us know we think we know things. We think kind of like when he's speaking to Shaitan, what is the matter with you, or what is it you have in your hand? I just
Yes.
thought that was fascinating because we have all of these tools. We are the creators with a little c. We have so many ways to access the fitra, and every time we learn something new, it's so much more we don't know. So it just was a very humbling reading that as much as we can gather and learn, we can't do this without Allah, connecting to Allah, constantly tapping into His frequencies, but also remembering our role and our place in His grander
Perfect.
purpose. It was just so humbling. Once we think
That's
we know everything, we get shot back.
that's
It's just,
perfect.
that was
I'm
beautiful.
gonna
It's
let
very
I'm gonna
humbling.
let no, hold on. Let me choose who I want to speak. I'm gonna let Rayford speak after I say this small thing for
Yeah.
Nawa. And that is that the column, your spine is also called a spinal column.
Mhm.
And that's how Allah teaches you. Okay? He taught you by use of the spinal column. If you didn't have a spinal column, you couldn't learn.
Couldn't do anything.
All right. Spine is the most important bone in this skeletal structure. If you break it, if you injure it, because it's connected to the brain.
Yes.
All your nerves.
Yeah, that's where all of your nerves are. And it's connected, though, right in the neck,
Right.
in that area right there.
Mhm.
It's connected to the brain.
Mhm.
You see it in the picture, in the Arabic
Yeah.
picture of Khalid, and the little Hamza,
Yeah.
half Hamza on top of it, sitting on a chair called Aleph, the Hamza. That's all Aleph is. It's not really Aleph is really not a letter. It's really the letter Hamza. the glottal sound, the guttural. Ah, say Allah, Allah. You still got to have that sound in your throat. That's why some people say there are 29 letters. And that's why other people say there are 28 letters. Because Hamza and Aleph are really the same letter. All right, so let's let Rayford get in here so we can begin to wrap up.
Okay, Salaam Alaikum, brother Imam.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, I want to go to our great book, NuNetics, on page 53. It's the consonant za. And you're saying that the abstract za are things that grab your attention, things to take down, to keep down, or to burden. Now, I went to Surah 12 about the story of Joseph and Zuleika. I think that's her name. In the scenario, what I'm concerned about is what I wanted to ask you was his rejection of her attempted programming the same as like the social manipulators try to manipulate us? In other words,
that's a great question.
Let me see, how do I have it written down? Zuleika, Joseph and Zuleika equals his rejection of her attempted programming. Was she trying to program him like the manipulators are trying to program us?
Well, the letters tell you the whole story, right? Because Zuleika carries the same last two consonants as Malaka. And Lam Ka, right?
Right.
Means staff in the hand.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure because I mean, from my last class, my colleague Nawa, she brought something out that really had me thinking about the letter L. And I was reading a story and I kept thinking about the letter L, and she had mentioned that it also has something to relative to programming. So when I went back and read it, I said, what she looks like she's trying to do, she's actually trying to program this dude and to manipulate him into something that he really don't want to do, but it's actually an act of programming. I said, I'm gonna check with the imam and make sure that that makes sense. So I just wanted to know if it does.
Well, I also want you to get back to me at some point before the next class so we can go over that particular ayat and see what else is there, because you can't judge from just one statement or from one name. You know, we have to look at the word environment.
Yes, sir.
The letters are just providing the base concept for you to work with, you know, but you have to go into the minutia, they call it, of what's being said in order to extract that kind of understanding.
Okay, I was just curious, brother, man, because I know you emphasized for us to know the letters and their meanings, and I remember what she had injected into that because that was really eye-opening for me when she made a point that it could also be applicable to programming. Then I went back and I read the story of Zuleika and Joseph. I said, she's actually trying to program this dude. She's trying to reprogram him. So I said, well, I'm gonna check with the man and see what he think and make sure I'm on the right path. So I just
Well, I appreciate you checking. Yeah, that's great. That's intelligent. Remember now the word khalaq that we have been discussing, khalaq al insana min alaq, I told you means to program. And then one more thing I want to say about a related thing is about the Khalifa. Now we're going full circle back to the letter Alpha. So I'm going to end on this point. Alpha is dealing with the A, the L, and the PH, which is really F. But you know, if you want to say something, I'm gonna wait on you, so I'll let you speak. But that'll be the last one. So again, when you understand that the letter A on the beginning of a word interchanges with or as a guttural, and you understand that kha in khalifa or khalafa is also a guttural, then khalifa is consonantally connected to alif. Can you see it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Alif, lam, pardon me, alif, lam, fa. That's alif. Alif, lam, Fa, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Khalifa, Kha, Lam, Fa.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that whatever, and that means that the Khalifa was intended to be the new leader in the world. That's why they was afraid of the bloodshed. Who's this guy coming in?
Alhamdulillah.
That's what they're afraid of over there in Africa right now with that new brother, that new leader. Are you going to create one who's going to make mischief and shed the blood while we've been the ones serving the world? We've been the ones serving your interest, God. We've done everything you asked us to do. We've been your popes, we've been your rabbis, we've been your top imams, and you're going to let this African dude, that's how they see him. Let this African dude come in here and start telling the world what to do and how to do and all of that. Say, no, 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 we can't go for that. They went for it with the nod of a head and the wink of an eye. But look at the world. Did the angels really obey? Because those weren't angels. Those were, what do you call people who fake? They were fakers. That's another word for them. What's another word for fakers?
Imposters.
Imposters. Yeah, I like that. Imposters. They were imposters. You know how I know they were imposters? If they were real angels, they would never have disobeyed the order. Allah says angels don't do that. They respond to his every command. Not most of them, every question. They don't even have the ability. They don't have a rational mind to be able to think about it and discuss it and reject it or accept. They don't have that. So they knew to shut up quick because their cover was being pulled off of them. And Allah still calls them malaik. He doesn't change the word. He still calls them malaik. Because that's what they were being in their behavior. Allah names things according to their behavior. He's told Adam name the things. How do you think Adam came up with all of those names? He just studied what they were doing.
And
when Allah called something the al-Baqarah, the Baqarah, he's saying the same thing. Baqarah, Hafara, heifer. FKR, faker. They all interchange. That's how you catch up with these rascals. If you want to know how to fight the schemes of Shaitan, you got to study consonantal connections. I'm sorry. This is the quickest route to success for language. Without you having to get the degrees and all of that you had to go through to get what you got now and your PhD and your MA and your BA, especially with the BS. Everything you had to go through to get that. Now you got to come get it from somebody who barely graduated from high school. I'm talking about me. So they can't check me because they didn't give me what I got.
That's right.
Remember Muhammad said the same thing about what he had. He said they can't check me because they did not give me what I got.
Right.
So that's how that goes. So the Khalifa is another type of behavior that represents what the Alafa, the Alfa, the Alfi Shahr, the Li'ilafi Quraysh. It's in all of that knowledge right there. So study it as that which becomes foremost, it's first, and it also brings up the rest of the alphabet. And that's what Khalifa means, that which leads from the back. You have to have Aleph first before you can get the other letters. So it's the leader, it's the parent of all the letters. And remember, the word parent is also the word fitra. The FTR and the PTR and the PRT in parent, they're all saying the same thing. It's the fitra that gives you birth and grows you up like a parent. That's a beautiful smile there, Habiba. I know you understand. I can feel it hitting your brain.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing. All right, so I'm going to conclude here because, as you know, I have company, and I promised him a class. He just got it. Actually, I can forget about that. He can go home now. He got his class, and a couple of you I know wanted to say something. If you've spoken already, I'm going to hold it. Habib, on.
It was.
Hmm?
You said
Oh,
it was
yes,
fun.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Baina had something to say, so we'll let her be the.
Oh, I just Assalamu alaikum everyone. I just was I wanted to put you were talking about the letter to A of
Negation.
privity. Yeah. Surah
Privity, yeah.
Al Alaq, just the name itself, is that. And I wanted to point out that those were the very first verses that were revealed to the prophet, those commands, right? And I put some questions in the chat, but it's okay, another time.
Well, I'll look
I'm
at
good.
them and hopefully I'll be able to give a response when I return this
Yeah, I just was talking about
notes.
the different types of light, the farge, the sub, and the dog. One of those lights it actually illuminates.
I
And
definitely want to read that. I want to definitely see that.
so I
And
think I
what
put
I
it.
would
I think
ask
it is.
you, I would ask you when it's question and answer time next week to have it in front of me. Let's
Okay.
do that. But you bring up a very important point, and that is that the A in alaq is also an A primitive, which means that it deprives the word of its meaning. So all you have to do now is study what lock means, the LQ, and then you'll know that whatever an alaq is, it's not that. It's not locked. If he created you from an alaq, he created you from something that is not locked. That's why the human being can do what other creatures can't do, because he created you from an alaq. And an alaq
Continue
I
in the
really
chat if I have something to add to that, but we'll keep.
I really wanted to point out that Allah is links this surah out the clot itself is linked to the acquisition of knowledge coming directly from Allah, the source of all
Yeah,
creation.
because alaq is representative of your memory bank that locks things in, that locks in information. Alaq is also representative of your DNA coding, which locks information in.
Alhamdulillah.
But at the same time, I'll get to you.
Sorry.
At the same time, that's not where that nature of the brain is absolutely controlled. It's not. See, even in the so-called Luqman, you see the LQ in that? You see the LQ in the English word loquacious? Somebody who likes to talk incessantly.
Yes.
Because all right. But these you see it in the word for divorce, talaq. Those are the words I want you to study when you're studying consonantal connections, because the keys are there to unlock the wisdom. But don't do surface study. That's why you need to do what Rayford and Abdullah and others are doing. You need to find you a study buddy. Stop guessing on your own and get with people like Sean. And yeah, he said liquid. You see that in there, the LQ and liquid. It's all over the place. So find you a study buddy who you know has some experience in consonantal connections. So we want to help you graduate quicker. Don't guess your way through NuNetics. That doesn't work. These are the scholars in historical language that put these languages together. They didn't do it by just sitting down and putting down the first thing that comes to their mind and say, "Oh, it must be this because this is what I thought of." No, that's not how it goes. You got to if you know anything about how science is established, you have to do something over and over again before they call it science, and it has to end up the same way every time. When you put these chemicals together, it has to end up the way this, and it has to do that 1,000 times. If it misses one time, it's no longer science, it's pseudoscience. So don't guess. Use this incubation period that we're calling questions and answers in NuNetics class and all. Use it as an incubation period to invite in the necessary essentials, the necessary chemical compositions of things. That's what this is. It's a glorified chemistry class that it's language chemistry.
The Surah Alaq is just amazing because Allah, he lets you know that He is the source of you getting all the knowledge that you have, and then He warns you at the end about being self-sufficient and how it causes arrogance, and that arrogance will lead you towards being defiant of His
It'll cut
commands
you off. It'll cut you off
and
because
cause you to become a disbeliever. Yes,
yeah.
this is a
Once you
serious
think you
surah.
know it all, once you think you know it all, then there's no more to chase.
Wind up stuck or stupid.
Right?
Awesome.
The rabbit has got the gun, as they say. There's nothing but no more rabbits to chase. All right, folks, I gotta go. Let me just, since Rayford still has his hand up, it may be something that we need to know. So let me ask him to come in and give us the final word.
You're on mute,
Unless he-
Rayford. You're on mute. I
Alright,
think
so
he said it's fine.
He may have just had his hand up from that. So
I just wanted to speak to the locking. And
go ahead.
I love
Please.
not lock. Just really quickly looking up the babies, embryos, and I was just doing a study on it. Okay, and the cool part is when the sperm penetrates the egg, and then the egg essentially absorbs the sperm in essence. Then what unlocks, which is the not locking, is the 23 chromosomes. And then they still can't really explain it, but that fusion that happens when the 23 chromosomes from the male and the female, that becomes unlocked when they are fully fused. That's it. So locked.
Got
Ooh,
it.
that was good. That was rich.
What? That's a wonderful point to end on, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, the production of life.
Yes.
Let me get back to the multi-screen here so you can see all of your beautiful smiling faces. This is wonderful, right? So listen, I thank all of you. You have made this another very special, blessed, and inspired class. I'm happy to see most of you participating. So the rule for me is that if I just let you talk, eventually you'll say something. Some of you think, oh, well, he's going to cut me off, or there's not enough time. I don't want to take time away from other people. But when you see that the other people are people who talk all of the time, and they've said what they had to say, and they're waiting for you to say something, and you don't say anything, and then now it's your turn again. That's fine. I think you contributed to bringing a wealth of information to this class in this class today, especially. So be very proud of yourselves. And at the same time, I want you to recommit to study. Don't think you're there. You're not. You're far from where you should be. But you're much further than the rest of the world who studies language. And one day you're going to be told that by people who study language. I'm just speaking ahead of time. I'm speaking for them. They're going to tell you what you have been learning is far ahead of where we were when we were learning language. In fact, you've covered points that we had no clue existed in language. And if you think Allah did this for no reason, you're wrong. I don't think any of you think that. But if you think that this is for naught or just some random or rambling kind of study of letters and all, no, this language is coming in to run the world. Yes. Right. It's coming in to replace the systems of knowledge. That's right. The systems of knowledge that have become corrupted. This is here to reteach our children the proper fiqh-based methodology for understanding the world. The world has gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, it is.
And we're here to bring our measure of sobriety back to the world. Sean, yes.
I just wanted to testify to what you said. Me learning Arabic those years ago, light years beyond what they taught. I look back at what they taught me. almost a
Yeah,
waste of time, but
you can do a test for yourself. Just go to a masjid or a place or a school or madrasa or something, and just find the top person. Say who's the best Arabic teacher in here. You can do it with people in our association. You can go to whoever you think is the top Arabic. I'm not saying it's to both. Trust me when I tell you that. I've already had some of the top Arabic teachers in our association, WD Muhammad. So they have said, I can't refute what he's. Salaam Alaykum told me that I can't refute what you're saying. He said, I tried. He said, I looked for places where I thought you were going to be weak or not explain something correct. And he told this to his audience. I was there. He said, and I'm telling you, because a guy came to me, he said, oh, that Benjamin Bilal, he's talking all this stuff about letters and that. And Salim had to tell him, I said, wait a minute, don't put it down there. He said something very profound. He said, because I don't know about it doesn't mean it ain't real.
Right.
That's a humble scholar. That's a humble scholar. Because I haven't heard about it doesn't mean it ain't real. I don't know everything in the world.
That's true.
And he said, Bilal is so consistent that I couldn't ignore it.
That's what Allah tells us. Consistency and constancy. That's
See?
all imperative.
That's why I lead you to him when I say you want to learn Arabic and he's online. I said, go join his class. And his class is free. See, but I'm telling you, you can do that with anybody who you think is the best or has the most to offer. And I tell you to do that because if you invite them to this session or to this method of study, you're going to do nothing but increase them. You're not taking anything away from them. They don't have to say, I'm going to switch to NuNetics. No, just if you see something useful, use it.
That's right.
If you want to learn from me one-on-one, call me up. It's really that simple. I'm trying to advance all of us. And I don't mean just the African American. I'm starting to put some of us at the end of the line now, like Yusuf did his brothers. Because we gave you a chance. That's what Yusuf said. Hey, I gave you guys a chance. Yeah, you got to come now. You got to stand on the back of the line. Too many hungry people up here. We got people from Palestine, Syria, Ghana, Kenya, Yugoslavia. We got people, and then we got people in Europe. They're not even Muslims, but they're interested in the language. People in Spain and Portugal and France. Those are I'm just giving you a projection of what is about to occur. I see it like I'm looking at you.
Yes.
And who is going to be the people to instruct these people in the ABCs of NuNetics? And that's all you got to learn. Just instruct them in the Aleph, Ba, Ta of NuNetics. You don't have to know the whole alphabet. You don't have to know the minutiae breakdown of nothing. You send them to me for that, or you send them to the people that I'm beginning to name as master instructors and your executive instructor. We already have about 3 or 4 of them. Executive instructors. That's all you got to do. And make sure that you look at that last interview I did with Michael Chenault. He's
master NuNetics.
He's the first master NuNetics instructor. But there are 2 or 3 others of you that I'm looking at right now who you don't yet know that that's your title in a minute. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. Do the best you can. We got people from different parts of the country, and we have some from different parts of the world. So worry not. It's a good day, and goodness is on the rise as I greet you in the greetings of peace and obligate each and every one of us to do what?
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace. Salaam Alaykum.
Wa alaikum salam.